They're on the way, and that's another great start for Ibrahim. He's got to jump on Inigo Anton.
You can see him there at the end of the straight. Oh!
Nakib Aslan has just been eased out of the track. Alif moves into P5.
Oh, and he does have a go.
Oh no!
Contact.
Ibrahim 5 seconds clear. This is phenomenal.
Rival sparring again as he hits the wall and loses a rear tire.
8 seconds to go. Nakib spins out and well regenerates, but will lose 1, 2, 3 places. The checkered flag has gone. Mohammed Ibrahim, 4th victory of this season. Aaron Lim off to a good start. Look at that. Luke Bannister's also in there. Dominic Hank holding off. And that is spinning out Josh Thomas. Mohammed Ibrahim up to P8 in the early stages, Ammo.
So let's see what happened. Oh, well, that's a BlackArts car involved. Nakib's already involved in that one. And plenty of others get involved. In fact, Nakib hits Mika on the way back to recover, so he spins for a second time.
And Inigo Anton goes on the inside rail pace. Anton tries to take the lead, and Inigo Anton then goes over, loses it, and Dominic Ang holds on. Anton drops to P4.
Whoa, tell you what, Dom actually just closed the door abruptly, but he can't close it this time. Josh actually takes the lead back.
Josh Perwin from Australia takes the lead. Pit stops are going to be crucial as Dominic Ang.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Dominic Ang is out.
He's actually been hit by one of the Safehouse cars with Dominic involved. So friendly fire between the Stratos cars there as we look for the behind landslide. And Miko Nassi, big accident coming onto the over into the pit lane.
Alif, gosh, coming into the pit lane. Alif was just wasted there.
It might be another pit lane incident because I can tell that one car's coming through. Yes, it's a very similar accident. Oh my word. A very similar accident. Both flash cars involved while trying to get back to the fast lane, and turns out Ibra's actually been hit the worst and causes yet another accident further behind.
Josh Berwin, meantime, maintains that 7-second lead.
But see what happens after. Oh! Well, it's a dark colored car, and I'm not sure whose car is that.
Leaf. Wow, going to try to go down the inside.
Can he make it move the move stick this time? Yes, he does. Cleanly.
His first ever win. Wow, that's Josh Perwin, look, please. That's a lot of emotion for Josh Perwin.
So Josh Perwin takes the victory. Kalen Chin will come through second. Mohammed Ibrahim got ahead of Alif, would you believe? Ibrahim pinches P3. The points for this round. Josh Perwin, 48 points, but Ibrahim, 46. So Perwin gets closer, but only by 2 points.
Last week we had our first mystery circuit.
We went to Charlotte and the Roval.
It was a rumble in the Roval jungle. There was so much action.
Josh Perwin, he came second in race 1 with the fastest lap, and then he ran away with race number 2.
Did a controlled comeback in race 2 from 11th place and ended up taking the win by 6 or 7 seconds, so I was quite happy with that.
Ibrahim's definitely found something in qualifying.
4 times he's been fastest in qualification.
It was overall a good round. Managed to get the pole and win race 1. Unfortunately in race 2 I had a bit of an incident coming out the pits. I was on a good strategy, but unfortunately out of that I couldn't.
Defending champion Alif has been the consummate teammate for Mohammed Ibrahim.
A lot of stuff happening. The track is very crazy, and the last few laps I was really catching the guys in front.
Kalen Chin is a driver I love to focus on.
Another driver that should have won a race or 2 this season.
He's had a P4 and a P2.
Pretty good, I would say. I did the overcut, which put me in P2.
And he's well supported by his BlackWolf teammate, Mika Hakimi.
My first P6 of the season honestly felt like a relief, but I really think I should be doing better than P6.
Miko had a bit more pace than he did in the previous races this season.
Roval in Charlotte was a bit of a mess, I think. Had an incident with another driver when he was overtaking me, and then a few more incidents with some other cars flying around in front of me, which unfortunately dropped me 1 or 2 positions.
So tonight at Spa is a track that we've been to in the E1 Championship before in Season 0.
It's everybody's favorite track.
It is the best corner in the world.
It's great to drive on, and it's also great to race on.
So I think we're going to be seeing a little bit less crashing, a little bit more overtaking.
Spa is a great track to race on.
It's a very, very wide track.
It's a lot bigger than Charlotte Roval was.
It's a fantastic track for overtaking and a lot of slipstreams.
One of my absolute favorite sim tracks.
I think it's one of my favorite tracks.
Hopefully I can start to turn it around here and score some good points.
Not one of my strongest tracks.
Done a lot of races around Spa. Hopefully that'll give me an advantage.
It's just amazing in my opinion.
Looking forward to the next round at Spa.
Hello and welcome to the E1 Championship Season 2, Round 5, where we're racing at the lovely Spa-Francorchamps. All of the action tonight brought to you by Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage, where you can save up to 40% off your next car insurance renewal. Make sure you check out the website there on your screens, evoclubinsurance.com. Also, don't forget that you can catch the races live on our live stream on Facebook. Check out our Facebook page, E1 Championship, or check out the website, eggnetwork.com. My name is Daniel Woodruff. I'm your host for this evening, and with me is Alex Young. And gracing us in the commentary box tonight with their presence is birthday boy Des Corkhill, and with him, Ammo. I'm sure that's it's a birthday message if we can read it, but happy birthday, Des. So tonight we are at round 5 of 8. We're officially halfway through the E1 Season 2 Championship. 4 down, 4 to go. Alex, it's been an interesting season so far. What are your thoughts on the competition?
Like you said, second half of the season now. Yeah, I've seen some great racing so far this season, as we always do in E1. I think the surprises have been quite interesting. You know, we had our reigning champions, Nakib and Alif, who have struggled a little bit this year. And we see some new boys come up. You know, Mohamed Ibrahim's been very strong. Josh Powen's not exactly a new boy, but he's having better success than he's had in previous year. Some of the other Australians like Josh Thomas, Luke Bannister have also been very strong. So just seeing some topsy-turvy grids, and as usual, of course, the racing is excellent.
Surprises indeed. Alma, what about you? Who's the biggest surprise for you this season halfway in?
Well, Dan, I have to say it has to be Inigo Anton. Anton has been very good to actually challenge for wins and podiums. Unfortunately, he has not cracked it yet, but he has been, to me, one of the surprise packages for the season. That win might just be a little bit close. Actually, he might be close away, but still, maybe it's just his day of days might come.
Well, we will be talking more about Inigo Anton soon to come. But Des, it's your birthday today. What's your birthday wish for the rest of the season? More action?
Yeah, more action, but I wish I could understand the racing, because the oval tracks the last couple of weeks that we've had on the oval last week, I thought I was getting to grips with understanding tactics. The more you learn, the less you know. That's what I like. So we're back at Spa, which I know. I love Eau Rouge. I'm looking forward to seeing Eau Rouge.
Well, before we get to Eau Rouge, just trying to understand what happened last week. We had an absolute corker of a race. Let's go and check out the highlights.
They're on the way, and that's another great start for Ibrahim. He's got to jump on Inigo Anton.
The end of the straight. Oh!
Nakib Aslan has just been eased out.
Oh, and he does have a go.
Oh no!
Contact.
Ibrahim, 5 seconds clear. This is phenomenal. 8 seconds to go. Nakib spins out. The checkered flag has gone. Mohamed Ibrahim, 4th victory of this season. Aaron Lim off to a good start. Look at that. Luke Bannister's also in there. Dominic Hank holding off.
So let's see what happened. Oh, that's a BlackArts car involved. Nakib hits Mika. He spins for a second time.
Oh, he goes on the top of the oval, and does he get the lead? Yes, he does. Anton tries to take the lead, and Inigo Anton then goes over, loses it.
Dom actually just closed the door abruptly, but he can't close it this time. Josh actually takes the lead back. That one car's coming through. Yes, it's a very simple accident. Oh my word. A very simple accident.
Josh Berwin, meantime, maintains that 7-second lead.
Can he make it move the move stick this time? Yes, he does.
His first ever win.
So Josh Berwin takes the victory. Kalen Chin second. Ibrahim pinches P3.
There were a lot of O's in that commentary. Mohammed Ibrahim with the first O, picking up 5 points for his 4th consecutive pole position, and then picking up the win in the first race. But Josh Byrne was very quick, picked up fastest lap in P2 in race 1, and then went on to win race number 2. Kalen Ching coming in a very good second, Ibrahim 3rd, Muhammad Ali picking up points. Do not count him out of the championship. In the overall result, Josh Berwin a 48-point weekend, Mohammed Ibrahim 46, Kalen Chin with a 35 points, Ali with 34, Inigo Anton strong again with a 24-point weekend.
Thank you, Des. And as we can see there, Josh Perwin coming out on top after round 4. And Alex, I distinctly remember Josh Perwin doing a bit to camera where he was saying, I should be leading the championship. And that was before last week's race even begun. Healthy points haul after last week. Is he on track to winning this championship?
Well, it is quite close to the top. I mean, was he 16 points behind Ibrahim in the championship lead? And that's nothing. That's very, very close indeed. And the two of them have pulled out a little bit away from everyone else. Not uncatchable by no means. We're only halfway through the season. There's still plenty of time for the others to try and come through. But for sure, you know, Perwin is starting to show some consistency. We've always known he's quick, but it's always whether the consistency is there. And he needs to improve in qualifying. His qualifying's not been good enough. He needs to be beating Ibrahim in qualifying in the race 1s. If he can do that, because his race 2 has been going well, if he can start getting a pole or a race 1 here or there, I think he's got a good chance of the championship.
Well, as you say, Mohammed Ibrahim doesn't need to work on his qualifying tactics. He's had 4 for 4 pole positions so far. But Des, do you think that he's his own worst enemy? I mean, we know he's fast, he has that raw pace, but he just doesn't have that consistency so far sometimes to collect all the points he needs.
I look at it very positively because he's a driver who takes chances. If he's in the lead and gets away, very difficult to catch him. But if he's caught in traffic, he'll take risks. He'll bring in contact, which to me, I love it. But Alex and race control, they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Alex might give you a penalty. We'll see what happens.
Can I give Des a penalty?
Yeah, birthday penalty. But his teammate, actually, Mohammed Ibrahim's teammate, our reigning champion, is Alif Hamilton. Mohammed Alif, we call him Alif Hamilton. He's our reigning champion, and I want to throw this question to you. Surely his ego must be a little bit bruised. I mean, his teammate is beating him outright in qualifying every single race.
A bit bruised and, shall we say, a bit deflated as well, Daniel, because he has not had the better of him in qualifying and also in the races. Yes, sometimes he has actually got the better of him by virtue of the fact that Ibrahim gets involved with a lot of unnecessary contact. But I think outright, through sheer pace and merit, it's been Ibrahim all the way. So I'm almost hesitant to guess that he's playing a bit second fiddle right now to Ibra.
Well, we're only halfway through the season. Anything can happen. It's consistency that counts. So we could see a complete change in our championship standings. Another driver that's had a little bit of a bruise to their ego has been the fast Filipino, as we call him, Inigo Anton at GT Radial Eurasia Motorsport. Now, he will not be participating in qualifying tonight, and that's because he's achieved the maximum number of penalty points that you can before receiving such a penalty. And before we go into the incidents as to what caused it, Alex, maybe walk us through how these penalty system works.
Okay, so we try and follow Formula 1. You know, it's E1, Formula 1, same thing, basically. And if you had 12 penalty points, you will get a race ban. And basically, an incident that's your fault, you're going to get 2. A really big one, you might get 3 or even 4. So, but there's also another thing, which is if you get 6 points within a 3-race gap, with the 3-race duration, you will get a qualifying ban. And that's what's happened to Inigo. He's actually got 7 points at the moment. And that's why he has to sit out qualifying. He's not the first one to do that, because Kifli Hoffman also had to sit out qualifying in the previous round.
That's right. Inigo Anton has had 3 major incidents in the span of about 4 races. And we'll go into a bit more detail, but let's go ahead and see what these incidents were.
And it's Inigo Anton, Nico Nassi were involved there. Luke Bannister is the race leader.
Whoa! Big accident!
Anton is in the pits, but he caught Luke Bannister.
I think Anton's gonna get nothing for that. And it's a crash, actually. It's Inigo Anton. Anton has actually smacked the inside wall on the way into the pit, but that is a very fast entrance. He might get drive-through penalty for that.
Yeah, if he's gone to the pit lane too fast. Oh, and he does have a go.
Oh no!
Contact.
They give each other space, and Aaron Lip. Oh, well, just as I say that, there we go. Anton just knocks him out. Very simple accident.
Oh, yeah, certainly looks like it. Look at Steve.
Inigo Anton then flies into trouble. Oh, Inigo, big moment for him.
Now, Alex, this is motorsports and accidents happen. And I think our spectators, the marshals, the stewards, we can all understand that accidents happen. But I can't help but feel that some of those incidents were avoidable.
Yeah, and let's be fair, not all those incidents were his fault. But here are a couple that were. This is race 1 where he hit out Josh Perwin. Just didn't leave enough space. And he got a 2-point penalty for that. Then this one was a big one. He was going into the pit lane, the other driver was just driving normally, and he took him out. Luke Bannister, in fact. So this is a really bad one, and he got 3 points on his license, so to speak, for that one. Brings him up to 5. And then the last race in Charlotte, he had this contact. It actually looks okay. He actually looks like he was going alongside, but we felt that he wasn't going to make the corner. He was carrying too much speed, and he wouldn't have made the corner. And instead used Safehouse to slow him down. So that brought his penalty points up to 7, and that's why he's sitting out qualifying.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call, and it's a job that I don't envy, but it really does help having that racing experience, because particularly with that last incident, it's just one of those moves where you as a driver instinctively know that it just won't work.
Yeah.
But you got to take risks, and I'm sure Inigo will continue to do so, but what can he do differently in the second half of the season?
Okay, so his speed's always been there. You know, he should have won a couple of races by now. I remember even last year, one season, he should have won Watkins Glen. He should have won last week. He should have won race 2. He had the move, he'd overtaken the lead, but he took too much curb, bounced off and spun. So he will win races. He's a very, very fast driver. He adapts to cars really quickly, and he's good on different platforms as well. Racecraft needs to be better, and it has improved a lot. I think from last season to this season, his racecraft's a lot better. But he's made the decision-making process at critical times has been a bit poor, and that's why he hasn't won a race this season. But it's going to come. I have no doubt about it.
For sure, and I'm sure all of our Filipino fans on the Facebook live stream as well, all supporting Inigo Anton, believe that win is coming very soon. He just needs a bit of a mental reset. As racing drivers, we know that you can get into the dumps sometimes. You just need to clear your mind, overcome that hump, get that momentum, and the wins will come. But we'll see how he catches up from the back of the field with no qualifying. It's going to make the race even more exciting. But before we get to qualifying, it's over to Des to walk us through the championship standings.
Yeah, here's the championship standings as they are. Well, in round 1, it was Luke Bannister who got off to a great start for the season. 44 points for him. Inigo Anton down in P10 there. So Inigo's been in the points. But round 2, Mohamed Ibrahim, 57 out of a possible 59 points for that weekend to go into the lead in the championship standings. And he stayed there after round 3, but it was Naqib Aslan who picked up maximum points, 50 points going round the oval at Indianapolis to move into championship contention. And then Ibrahim last week, a 46-point weekend, just edged up by Josh Berwin, but those two are a little bit further away than Muhammad Alif and Naqib Aslan, the 2 previous champions. In the team championship, Alif and Ibrahim as Flash are romping away with this 268 points. BlackArts Racing with Perwin and Bannister at 214, a long way back at Safehouse in P3 with Miko Nassi and Josh Thomas in the driving seats.
Thank you, Des. The championship standings, have actually seen quite a jumble in the last few rounds, and I'm sure this is a momentum that's going to continue, particularly with the addition of the mystery rounds that we have later on this season. But focusing on tonight, we head to the lovely Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and to walk us through this track, it's over to our colleague Amanda.
Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Andrea, and this is E1 Championship Season 2, Asia Pacific's most premier sim racing championship. Last week, drivers battled each other out at night at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval as we completed round 4. After being confined to the tight spaces of the oval and the Roval in the past 2 rounds, today we will be heading to a breathtaking fan favorite track, the one and only Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium. This legendary circuit has been hosting the Belgian Grand Prix since 1925. Spa is still the longest track on the F1 calendar for 2021 and will also be the longest track for the E1 Season 2. Set in 300 acres of forest in the mountains of Belgium, Spa is one of the most historic and challenging racetracks. Originally, the track layout used public roads linking the Belgian town of Spa-Francorchamps, making it double in length compared to the modern track layout. Over the years, the track received many modifications, with the current modern circuit being 7.004 kilometers long, comprising 9 left-hand corners, 10 right-hand corners, and also an elevation difference of 102.2 meters. The current lap record was set by Valtteri Bottas at 1 minute and 46.286 seconds. Now, previously on E1's very first season, we got to see drivers battle it out at Spa using the FRX 17. But this time around, they'll be using the Dallara IR01 instead. Although both cars are powered by a naturally aspirated 3-liter engine with around 900 horsepower, the Dallara IR01 has a higher top speed, capped at 346 km per hour, whereas the FRX 17 had a top speed of 322 km per hour. The Dallara IR01 weighs around 600 kilograms with a maximum fuel load of 80 liters, while the FRX 17 has a maximum fuel load of 120 liters. For today's races, we will have a 10-minute qualifying race to determine the driver's grid position, followed by a 15-minute sprint race and a 30-minute reverse grid race. Top 5 from the qualifying will earn points from 5 down to 1, while the top 15 in race 1 and 2 will earn points ranging from 25 to 1. Driver, of course, with the fastest lap in race 1 and 2 will earn an additional 2 points per race as well. A grand total of $16,000 and trophies await the teams and drivers with the highest points after all 8 rounds are completed. The champion and the winning team will win $4,000 and a trophy, followed by the first, second, third, and fourth runner-up respectively for both the driver and team divisions. Good luck to all, and may the fastest win.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Now, as she rightly said, this is the second time the E1 Championship in its history will revisit the lovely Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. It's one of my personal favorites, and I think for most race car drivers, it's one of their favorite tracks in the whole world. But Alex, what made it qualify for a return to the E1 season calendar?
This was an easy choice. You know, I think we should come to this track every year.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's arguably the most perfect racetrack in the world. Pretty much every driver's favorite track. And it's very unique in the fact, well, it's unique for a race. It just ticks all the box. It's great to drive. It's challenging to drive. Very exciting to drive. Huge elevation changes. It has arguably the best corner in the world, Eau Rouge and Radial. But what's even more interesting is you can race here. You have great racing here. Normally when you have a track that's very exciting to drive, you have bad racing. It's very hard to overtake. But Spa also has great racing. And it's also beautiful, man. It's like Red Bull Ring, basically. You go here, it's beautiful. You've got the forest all around it. It's, you know, most racetracks are like scars on the landscape, you know. This thing just fits. It fits beautifully, it blends in really nice. It's a perfect track.
You know, I almost mistakenly called it the Green Hell, which is actually the nickname for the Nürburgring in Germany. But you could forgive me because the landscapes, as you say, are beautiful. All the trees must be beautiful to drive. Great elevation changes as we ride on board of Mikko Nasi. We come around the first corner and maybe walk us through Eau Rouge because it's the most exciting corner.
Yeah, that's turn 1, just gone through La Source. And Mikko Nasi, quickest of all right now, so he's obviously on some qualifying runs. Eau Rouge at the bottom here, going up full flat. Yeah, it's flat through Eau Rouge. At the very top is Radial. And then on this long straight, this is the Camel Straight, and there's a lot of overtaking is going to happen here. Slipstreaming down the inside, round the outside, and Mikko's looking very focused there. Before you brake for Lecombe, turn, well, I can't remember what turn it is, it's all corners at this point. Then this nice right-hander into second sector of the track. The second sector of this track is much more tighter and twistier. Not really tighter, it still flows beautifully, but it's oof, you need a lot of grip. So the downforce is quite important here. How you drive the car is important. Sectors 1 and 3 is all about low downforce, straight line speed. Oh, he's...
He stopped. It was a good lap, though. And another driver that I think will have a good lap is Nakib Aslan. He's a driver that's won here before. He's had a difficult season so far, but do you think him winning here in the past is enough of advantage for him to bounce back a little bit?
No, not at all. At this level, that sort of form from track to track really doesn't play out. These are, you know, different other levels. You see circuit specialists that are very good at certain tracks, but no, you won't see that at all. I think today, Nakib, I think we'll see pretty much a similar form where he's in the middle of the top 10. You know, he's been making some small improvements, but this is his, you know, his least strongest. Is that such a word? Bad phrasing. But it's his weakest platform. You know, he's much better at Race Room and ACC and a few of the other games. But yeah, I think he'll be a solid top 10.
Well, like all true champions, I'm sure he will bounce back. But another person to keep an eye on in qualifying will be Mohammed Ibrahim. He's had 4 for 4 qualifying so far, 4 pole positions. Will he make it 5 in a row? We'll find out very soon because we have qualifying coming up next, right after this break.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, I got 46-47% of savings.
I paid $790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was $1,290. Pro Mileage was the only one that gave me $5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking Pro Mileage. I say, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
Defending champions Team Flash are the first of the teams we're going to focus on. Muhammad Alif, the defending champion, Mohammed Ibrahim, the current championship leader. Flash, the team to beat.
Next up, we have Season 0 champion Stratos Motorsports with Nakib Aslan, who took the championship in the very first season. He's from Malaysia, and he's age 21, and he's joined with fellow Malaysian Dominic Ang, also from Malaysia, 32.
A young team, BlackWolf Racing. Kalen Chin is the leading point scorer. He has got on podium so far this season. Mika Kimi, best position of P6, but between them, they could be contenders.
And then the team from Philippines, GT Radial Eurasia. Top team, just came back from Le Mans, and they've got a Philippine duo, Inigo Anton, who's been very quick, hasn't won his first race yet, with Joaquin Garrido.
Team Safehouse with Miko Nasi from Singapore, the 35-year-old. He was second runner-up in Season 0. Josh Thomas is making his debut, he's been consistent. No wins, though, so far this year.
Then we have BlackArts Racing. They got two Australians. Josh Perwin is only 19. And he's with Luke Bannister, who's also 21. Young duo, Josh Perwin, second in the championship. Can he take his second win of the season?
Here's Freddie, Apex E-Racing, Freddie Yang, making his debut for the season alongside Arif Azmi. Let's see if he can join his brother on the points boards.
And then we have Slipstream Motorsport. Ivan Vantiago, who's not only the driver, but he's the boss of the team as well. And he's joined with Daniel Martin from Malaysia, age 23, but running car number 22.
A surprisingly strong team this season. Team EGG Network. Aaron Lim has transitioned from real racing into sim racing and picked up some very useful points. Melwin Tan from the Philippines also showing promise.
Then we have the legends in the Eracing GP team, Tuku Jan and Kifli Hoffman, both in their 40s, but they drive like they're in their 20s.
And to take us through to qualification, let's go back to Amanda.
It is a cloudy afternoon at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps today, and it is also the perfect weather for racing, as the temperature on ground is only 22 degrees Celsius and the air humidity is at 40% with a wind speed of 12 km per hour. This iconic track has held the Belgian Grand Prix since 1925. Now, history witnessed Michael Schumacher winning 6 titles from 1992 to 2002 and is the most successful driver to have ever raced on the circuit to date. Now, today in round 5 of E1 Season 2, who will conquer the corners of Spa to have a good qualifying start? In the very first season, we saw drivers face off on this track with Nakib Aslan emerging victorious. Can he repeat his performance, or will we see a new winner this season? Stay tuned to find out. Over to the commentary desk.
Some great information from Amanda. A reminder that Evo Club car insurance with Pro Mileage, you can get 40% off your next quote with Evo Club car insurance. EvoClubInsurance.com is the place to go, and our thanks to our sponsors for that support of the E1 Championship, which is the Premier Sim Racing Championship. Amo, Nakib Aslan, he got a double last time we were at Spa. You're not expecting him to do the same this time, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to follow what Alex said as well. It might be a sense of familiarity for him in terms of circuit, and he will have good fond memories of this on his way to the title in Season 0. We will not be expecting the same thing here. He might just continue the run of form, which sees him consistently close or in the top 10, but a win may be a bridge too far, but who knows. Spa can easily be a circuit that throws the form out the window and can throw up some surprise results. So Naki could be banking on this, as you can see he's smiling on the camera right now. Looks in good mood, but he should be actually getting ready to the car for qualifying.
Well, we are underway in qualification. It's a 10-minute qualification, longish laps here. Alex, you were disparaging, that's not quite the word, but Nakib, you didn't really hold out much hope for him picking up a podium place today.
Well, no, I mean, because he has been improving through the season, but you can't overnight change your performance from being in the middle of the top 10 to winning. That's just, that just doesn't happen. It takes a while to get there. So I think we'll see continued improvement. And he has won a race, but that was on the oval. This is on the road track, where he's still struggling to find that little bit to bridge the gap to someone like Ibrahim. And it would be nice to follow Ibrahim at maybe earlier on in the session, but just to see exactly what he's doing. Because as a driver, you could figure it out looking at data, watching other people and trying to see. But it's very much about second-hand nature, stuff like muscle memory, brain memory, and all that stuff. And that doesn't change overnight.
Well, here is Mohammed Ibrahim, just about to start his lap. Could be a quickie because he set lap times very quick early on. Do you want to talk us around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, Alex?
Yep, here we go. We were just started it in practice down to Eau Rouge and Radion. Look at this. Oh, was that flat? That wasn't flat. He was lifting. Wow, that's interesting. And he didn't even use all the road at the exit of Radion as well. Interesting. I would love to see that again later. Anyway, long straight, then braking for Lacombe. Looks like he's carrying good speed through there. What gear is he doing? Can't quite, 5th gear through there. Carrying lots of speed through Lacombe and then all the way down. Now this hairpin, Bruxelles. Not really a hairpin. It's quite a fast hairpin as far as hairpins go. Then No Name, this left-hander. Oh, yep, all the curb and a bit more. That's the way. Now to Pouillon, is it flat? It's going to be a small lift in these sort of Formula 1 cars. Yeah, small lift, maybe a bit of left foot braking. Yeah, again, keeping the shortest distance, not bothering to go all the way to the exit like at Radion through Biff Bath. I know they call it something else these days, but I can never remember the name. I always remember Biff Bath. And then through Stavelot. Very important corner to get a good exit. Seems to have a good exit. Look at hardly any input on the steering wheel. That's very interesting. Ibrahim sets up his car with a lot of oversteer so that he just has to do small movements. If he does any big movements, the car's going backwards into the barrier. And you can see the very small movements. Now down to the last couple corners on the circuit, chicane, bus-stop chicane. Again, okay, yeah, more movements here because it's a slow corner, but again, not very much. Good exit out of the last corner. And is this quick enough for pole?
It is indeed quick enough for pole by half a second. Actually, by nearly a second faster than Luke Bannister, Ammo.
Wow, way. That's just a really good lap, actually. And you can see that sometimes you can tell Alex was saying that he was lifting over. He should have been, and he was not in the right gear or something. But he can still pull the rabbit out of the hat and be about 9/10 faster than Luke Bannister in that particular regard. It's only one lap, though. That might just be a banker lap. He could easily be even faster.
Okay, let's have a look at Josh Berwin because he's number 2 in the overall championship standings. Hasn't set a lap time at the moment. He needs to set a decent lap time because he is in pursuit of Ibrahim.
Yep, qualifying form-wise, we see that Josh has his best starting position has been 2nd, which was all the way back in the first round in Brazil. Then 7th, 4th, and 5th. He is easily in the top 10 in terms of qualifying, but he can never break that down just by yet. And let's see if this lap he could actually be at least closer to Ibrahim than he was before.
Well, we're halfway through, or approaching halfway through. Now, you've allowed 10 minutes this season, Alex, so there's a bit more time. But on this 7-kilometer circuit, you can't really miss out too often on your laps.
No, and it'd be interesting to see what strategies everyone's going for, because I think people are doing two laps. Looks like they're doing an out lap, 2 time laps, and then an in lap. Well, no, so that means that's kind of interesting because some of the tracks we've seen them only doing 1 lap, but I think these guys are going for 2 laps in a row.
Josh is down on the man who's in pole position again, Mohamed Ibrahim. He's down quite considerably, coming into sector 4 here. Currently hasn't set a time, needs to get up into the top 5. Let's see what kind of a time he's got here. Josh Berwin, BlackArts Racing, goes into P3, Ammo.
Yep, P3, and just a second off. He's behind his teammate by 2/10, but that's a big gap still. Ibrahim has absolutely nailed it on the first time of asking. That is quite frightening for the rest of the field on trying to catch him and trying to prevent him from getting his 5th consecutive pole of the season.
How about Kalen Chin? Kalen Chin has promised to get into the top parts of races, promised to get onto the podium a few times. How's he looking? P7 at the moment, Alex.
It's looking quite good. Sassifying a chunk of time, though. Is this a better lap? Yeah.
And he can take a drink. He's actually drinking while he was driving. You saw it just now. He managed to take a sip there. So he does have a button to do so, but he manually picked out a bottle while he's on his hot lap.
Yeah, is this an out lap? This is an out lap, isn't it?
Hot lap, it is. Oh.
No, it's an out lap.
Okay, it's an out lap. Okay, no wonder.
Yeah, it's an out lap. Gets all the way to the right-hand side to get a good exit out of the last corner down the start-finish straight. Much better exit than Josh did previously just now. And he'll have to try and keep it nice and neat. Let's see and follow him all the way around, shall we? You can see Josh Berwin left a lot of time on the table, actually. Got sideways quite a few times.
Lift off there, coming up to Radion. Yeah, it has a lift because these cars seem to kind of take a flight compared to the Formula 1 cars that we used to hear here in real life.
Yeah, but it's interesting. They're still trying to take a short distance on the exit instead of just trying to take it flat.
I'm loving the way you both go quiet as they go down Eau Rouge. You're just waiting to see. Is there a lift there? At the moment, though, his sector time is... Gosh, he's green. Could be, yeah. Could be out the top 5, you know.
behind, well, actually, he's ahead of Dominic Ang, about a 10th now. So at least he'll be certainly faster than Dominic Ang, at least in that sector. Coming out to sector 2, and I don't know why we're not comparing the proper sector lap times to Ibrahim, but it is what it is. A 10th up, so he's actually getting more time on Dominic, so which is a sign that he's actually getting much faster here. So personal best first sector, 29.6. And second sector, third sector, no improvements. Look at that, 5/10 faster now ahead of Dominic Ang. So he is improving his lap time, but by how much? We have to wait and see.
Muhammad Alif Hamilton is the man who's in P6. Josh Thomas from Safehouse alongside Nico Nassi. Both the Safehouse teams looking pretty good in 4 and 5 at the moment. We've got 2.5 minutes left in qualification. Kalen Chin needs a half decent time here. Nico Nassi's just set the second fastest time, Alex, as
Nice.
Kalen takes a slow end to the lap.
I don't think he had a good lap, so I think he's restarting again. Yeah, he didn't have a good lap just now. You could see him smiling earlier on. He didn't put it together, so decides to restart again and just get a good exit.
So back on with Mohammed Ibrahim. Miko Nassi currently in P2, and Ibrahim, his lap of 1:40.37 is 6/10 faster than Miko Nassi in P2, Amo.
Yeah, indeed, there's 6/10, and remember, Nassi just set that lap time, but he still cannot beat Ibrahim. And look at his lap. Purple first, second, first and second and third sectors, so he's getting even faster this one. This might easily smash everybody out of the park.
He is really taking the qualification seriously. 4 times in 4 Grand Prix, he has been number 1. Is he going to make it 5 out of 5? Mohammed Ibrahim comes in 1:40.37 his previous time.
Nope. Yeah. Oh, it
1:40.13. It's quicker, Alex Young.
Wow. So, putting on 9/10 for the rest of the field. That's impressive.
Josh Perwin goes through looking to improve on P2, on P3, which he does. He goes ahead of Luke Bannister. Muhammad Alif Hamilton in P6 at the moment. Josh Thomas, he's out there in P5. But we're into the final minutes of qualification. So Thomas, where he is, he will finish this lap. He will have a chance to get a better result than Luke Bannister or Josh Perwin. But Alif out of the points again, Amo.
Oh, wow. His qualifying form, okay, it's not miserable to say the least. 7th, 4th, 3rd, and 3rd. And this time he's going to be out of the points after 2 consecutive points finishes in the qualifications, at least. But, yeah, qualifying form-wise, he has no answer to Ibrahim. Last time it was 5/10. Now it's 1.4 seconds. That would just absolutely kill his momentum. And I would safe to say here that he's going to have to support him for the rest of the season.
Josh Thomas,
wants a chance for the championship.
Josh Thomas isn't going to improve on P5, I don't think, Alex. But nobody's going to get even close to Mohammed Ibrahim, who once again is the man you need to talk to, because Mohammed Ibrahim, fastest in qualification, 5 times in a row.
Wow. So, okay, Ibrahim, what a great qualifying. That's 5 out of 5. Good job there. You want to take us through it?
Yeah, I'm thankful to God again for getting pole. It's really difficult here at Spa because you can get off track quite easily. But I just kept it as smooth as possible.
So tell us, I mean, you were more or less 1 second clear of anybody else on track. I believe it was 9/10 to second place. I mean, 5 poles in a row. How do you do it? Where is this time coming from?
I don't know, to be honest. I just drive the car as best as I can. To be honest, that's it.
I mean, we were watching some of your onboards, and it looks like the car was very oversteery. Do you set it up in that way? It looked like you were very much on the edge of the steering.
Yeah. I mean, this car's on the knife edge, let's say that.
All right, so starting from pole, we've got a very long straight on this track. Do you think it's a disadvantage to be on pole with the slipstream that the others might have?
I mean, yes, it is a disadvantage, but it depends how good of a start I get and how good of a start the others get. So it really depends on that.
Any other questions, Alex?
No,
all good?
well, good luck, man. Race 1 coming up.
Yeah, good
Thank
luck.
you so much, guys.
Keep it on the black stuff. See you in pole.
Thank you.
All right, over to you, Des, to take us through our unofficial results from qualifying.
Yes, EvoClubInsurance.com. Well, thanks to them, Mohammed Ibrahim fastest again. Miko Nassi, best qualification of the season so far. P2 for him. Josh Perwin, a decent P3 worth 3 points. Luke Bannister, BlackArts Racing looking competitive here at Spa, ahead of Justin Thomas from Safehouse. Safehouse looking competitive. Alif out of the points in P6. Kalen Chin and Dominic Ang 7 and 8. Aaron Lim and Hakimi complete the top 10. Naki Baslan down in P17. No time from Naki Baslan. No time from Inigo, but he wasn't allowed onto the circuit. No time, Alex Young, from Naki Baslan.
Yeah, so we're going to try and find out what happened to the car, but I don't know, maybe he had a problem with the rig. Something happened, because he didn't even set a time.
Well, we're lucky that it's a good track to overtake on. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of overtaking action from both Nakib Aslan and Inigo Anton, starting from the back because they didn't set a time in qualifying. All of that action to come in race 1, which is happening very soon, right after this break. We'll see you then.
When I switched to Pro mileage, I got 46-47% of savings.
I paid 790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was 1,290. Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking Pro mileage. I say, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
Hello and welcome back to the E1 Championship Season 2. We're at round 5 at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. It's a lovely fast circuit. It's everybody's favorite. It's my favorite. It's probably Alex's favorite. I won't ask him. And we've just wrapped up qualifying. Once again, it's Mohammed Ibrahim on pole position. That's 5 for 5. He was almost a second clear of the field up at the front. But down to the back of the grid, we have one of our defending E1 championships, Nakib champions, I should say, Nakib Aslan of Stratos Motorsports, who didn't set a time, Alex. I mean, did you see what was going on?
Yeah, I will hopefully get a chance to talk to him in a while, but yeah, from just hearing from the team boss, track limits was an issue. But there he is, Nakib. Okay, you free to talk to us? Or you see me just make a crash?
Warming up.
What happened, man?
What happened? It's all part of the plan. Yeah, I think it was a bit, I don't know, inexperienced by me. It was a error for me not to do a banker lap first, but yeah, kept on making mistakes each lap. But I think it's not a disaster. I think looking at last week, we were at the front at the start, but got knocked out to the back. So maybe this time we start at the back and hopefully get to the front. So yeah.
Well, you do have a reverse grid in race 2, so even in the worst case scenario, I'm sure you can flip your way around to pole position. But we noticed that a lap time wasn't set. So was that just because there was a mismanagement of timing of when you started a lap?
Mostly it was, yeah, I think, again, it was, again, my error. I should have done a banker lap first at the early parts, but I was gunning for that one lap wonder thingy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just made a mistake each lap, and at the end I didn't have time to set a lap. So
what time do you think? What time do you think you could have done today?
Pole.
Yeah, that would have been spectacular to see.
What number was that? What lap time was that?
Probably a 38, I think.
38 seconds.
All right, well, pick yourself up. Hopefully you have a good race 2 and good luck. Sorry, good race 1 and good luck. Thank you.
All right, up next is a driver that we spoke a lot about in Season 0, Season 1. We called him the Calm Cool Finn, excellent racecraft. But it's time for us to shine a little bit of a spotlight on him in Season 2, Mikko Nasi. Mikko, how's it going? Walk us through your qualifying. How did it go?
Hey, Daniel. Yeah, pretty good. My first lap was a little bit of a mess, but then luckily I basically put it all into that final lap. I didn't put enough fuel for a second lap, so lucky I nailed it on that one. Or relative to most of the field, I nailed it.
Well, unlike on other tracks that we've seen this season, we've seen a lot of drivers do 2 laps in qualifying. What was the rationale behind that?
Yeah, well, the main reason was time, actually. So there's only time for enough time to do one set of 2 laps and one set of 1 lap, so yeah, one of your efforts will probably be just a 1-lapper.
I see. So you couldn't get the 4 time laps in?
No.
Wasn't time. Okay, so what's the strategy for race 1? I hope you've been practicing your starts.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing now, so hopefully I nail that one. That'll be step 1. And then, yeah, hopefully stick with Ibrahim's draft at least for a while there before he rockets off. And who knows, maybe our race pace is good enough.
Okay, well, good luck for race 1.
Good luck, Mikko. Excellent racecraft from him. I'm sure we're going to see some great overtaking maneuvers from him in race 1, which is coming very soon. But first, let's take a look at our highlights from qualifying. Oh, sorry, results from qualifying.
The official results brought to you by Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage, Mohammed Ibrahim. We may as well just leave that graphic up there for the rest of the season. 5 out of 5 for Ibrahim. Team Flash picking up the 5 points. That's 25 points accumulated at time 140.134. Nasi a very good second for Safehouse with Josh Thomas in P5. BlackArts Racing, Perwin and Bannister. Tell you what, they won't be too far off the pace there. Good points again for them for qualification. But Ibrahim, the man to beat.
So Alex, if you're Mikko Nasi and you know that you're the second fastest on track, you're the best of the rest, how do you process a 9/10 gap?
Well, it's a big gap. Yeah, I mean, I think it's bigger than they realized. I think they were thinking, okay, if we could get within half a second of Ibrahim today, that'd be good. But I think a few drivers obviously didn't maximize it. Mikko seemed to be pretty happy with this lap, although he didn't get to do his last lap. A few drivers didn't get a chance to maximize. Obviously, Nakib was off. Inigo Anton, don't forget, he was only 2/10 off pole last time. I think he would have had a good chance to have tried to get pole position today, but yeah, no chance because he had the qualifying ban. Starts from the back with Nakib. It will be very interesting to see what he can do in race 1.
For sure. And as the drivers are currently underway in practice. Oh, well, we're having a bit of an issue on screen. What kind of strategy are we expecting when it comes to pitting tires?
I think it's a sprint race as we get ready for the race one. Well, look, practicing starts. So 15-minute race. So I think they're going to be using softs. They've got to be. Well, actually, if I say that, Spa is very hard on tire wear, isn't it? So maybe a few of them might be on the mediums or even the hards, to be honest. But there won't be any pit stops for this race. It'll be race 2 where they'll have to stop.
So no pit stops in race 1. They'll have to completely depend on overtaking. Any key spots on Spa for overtakes?
Oh, loads. I've been watching Alif right now. He's just gone through Stavelot, coming down. This long bit here is plenty of corners, but they're not corners. It's easy flat, wet or dry. So this is all straights. Even Blanchimont, this left-hander here, is easy flat in these cars. And then you come to the end, which is the bus stop chicane, the very last second of corners. And this is where you do a lot of overtaking through here. Alif just not getting the car rotated there before the start and finish straight.
Just a little bit quick on entry. I did notice that Mohamed Ibrahim was able to carry quite a lot of entry speed into that bus stop chicane. Quite a surprising amount.
So the thing with the iRacing car is, I mean, the steering, what you feel through your hands, is the best of all the sim games. I feel. You know, they laser cut all the tracks, and they feel every bump. It's really realistic that way. But the way they do the braking on the car is a little bit strange. You don't ever hit the brake pedal hard. You have to hit it very softly, which is very counterintuitive to what a lot of other games do. And you got to hit it softly, and you got to have the car with a lot of oversteer, so it rotates. So when we watched Ibrahim on board, he's hardly moving the wheel. Even the slow corners, he only needs to go to here, where everyone else is kind of going to here. So there is a knack to driving in iRacing. You see a lot of real-world drivers like Max Verstappen and Lando Norris adapt to it pretty well. And of the field right now, especially in qualifying, Ibrahim seems to have discovered that knack better than anyone else.
That's right. Mohamed Ibrahim just has to keep it on the black stuff in race 1 with that pace, and we'll see if he can keep it up at the front. But as we prepare to go to race 1, it's over to Amanda to talk us through the track.
Congratulations to the top 5 drivers in qualifying for securing a good spot on the starting grid in the next sprint race. Now, arguably one of the greatest challenges on Spa has always been the fearsome Eau Rouge Radion left-right-left sequence without lifting off the throttle. A slight mistake in cornering would prove costly too. Now, can the drivers stay cool-headed and take the corners flat out without any incidents? Buckle up and let's get ready to head into the race.
Indeed, we are ready. Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage, EvoClubInsurance.com are our sponsors. Amo Haziq, our Stato in the commentary box, and Alex will be joining us as well. What are you anticipating after seeing qualification? And Ibrahim roast?
I think I would expect that what you said so as well, Des. He's just going to scamper off to the distance because look at that, 9/10 of a second ahead of second place. There's no answer for him, for people in qualifying to him. And I'm expecting another race 1 win unless something spectacular happens to Ibrahim.
Let's work our way through the grid. Bannister and Perwin on the second row, Thomas and Alif on the third row, Kalen Chin and Dominic Ang on the fourth row, Aaron Lim, a very good fifth row alongside Mika Hakimi, Freddie Ang on debut alongside Dan Martin, making the top 6, the top 12 in this race. Further down, we go into Joaquim Garrido and Melwin Tan in P13 and 14. Arif Azmi, expected a bit more from the Apex racer, Arif alongside Ivan Vantagiato, and then you've got Nakib and Inigo Anton right down at the very, very bottom. And we are underway. The start from Mohamed Ibrahim is terrific. He has got away exactly as we expected he would do, and as he comes down Eau Rouge Amo Haziq, he has broken away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, but about 4/10 as they come up to the top of Eau Rouge and Radion now. As well, as I said, look at that. Josh Perwin and Luke Bannister have actually got to the slipstream. Now is game on actually between the top 6 here. And with Alif watching Bree further behind as now they come up to Lake Combe. No move there just about yet. But Nassi and Josh Thomas also battling. So 2 rows of 2 for 2 teams right behind Ibrahim, with the third being followed by Alif. So 3 teams in the top 6.
So important to slay in the slipstream, Alex. If they can keep close to Mohammed Ibrahim, they've got a chance.
Yep, Josh is good there. Luke Bannister in third, obviously giving his teammate a bit of space as they go through the second sector.
But it's Ibrahim who's got away, but not, I suspect, in the way we anticipated. 2/10 quicker. But look at how those top 5, top 6 are pulled away. Mohammed Ali Hamilton doing his desperate best to hold on back in P6, Ammo.
Yeah, he actually didn't really make that much up on the start, so he remained 6th. The guy who lost out big time was actually Miko Nassi. He lost 2 positions at the start. He got mugged by both BlackArts Racing drivers, and now he's trying to play catching shadows, all the while trying to defend from Josh Thomas. Josh, look at that, coming through Blanchimont, coming out to the bus stop chicane. He's going to look on the inside. Is he going to make that move? Nope, they stay behind in the Noah's Ark pattern right now.
Well, let's stay with the front race as they come through at the end of lap 1. Mohammed Ibrahim has got that lead, Alex Young, but he hasn't been able to really pull that gap, and was on board here with Josh Berwin. If he can get close, this is an opportunity up the top of the straight, if he's in the slipstream, to maybe get a chance to overtake.
Yeah, half a second down going through Radial now. Not sure he's close enough, but the slipstream is strong. You can see the gap closing down. 3/10, 2/10. Won't be close enough by the time they get to Lacombe, but maybe the next lap he'll be close enough.
So that is interesting, the real pace that we saw from Mohammed Ibrahim, 9/10 quicker, or 8/10 quicker I think it was, than in qualification than anybody else. He's not really been able to introduce that back out onto the circuit. We've got a crash further down. Dominic Ang causing a bit of an issue.
That was Melvin Tan going off, so we get replay. Why did not keep you further behind in 17. He started 17 because he didn't get the qualifying time right. Oh, Spa 98 vibes intensifies here. Look at that. Dominic's on top of Nakib. That is not what Hero wanted. And he's stuck behind Arif Asmi because Arif's in the pits right now. So Nakib, not the start that he wanted, and he's still stuck at the bottom end of the top 20.
Okay, here is Nakib Aslan. He's saying maybe at the back I can get to the front. Not if you've got your teammate jumping all over the top of you, Alex Young.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what's interesting. Inigo Anton has had a great start. He's up to P9. So he somehow avoided that carnage at turn 1. And he's looking really good. There he is in P9, the GT Radial Eurasia car. That's an excellent start there. So he could possibly get to the top 5 before the end of the race.
Behind him, he's got Kalen Chin, who dropped down a little bit, so that's 9 and 10 in shot. Just ahead of them on debut, Freddie Ang. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on at the top. There's been no change in the top 6, but there is Freddie Ang. Good to see him on the screens, currently in P10. Good from him. But Anton, we all know how quick he is and can be. That's a terrific start, Anna.
What a waste there, Des. If only he didn't have that qualifying back, he should be right up there with that top 6 to become a Super 7. But unfortunately, he just has to carve his way through the field. Now he has to deal with Freddie Ang, and behind him is Kalen Chin as they come out on the Camel Straight to Lake Combe. Good defense there, and that is actually very respectful. So he keeps 9th place for now, but he really wants to get onto the back of Freddie Young there so that he could actually chase up to a charging Aaron Lim in 7th. What an absolutely brilliant run so far for the Malaysian. He has been going on a term of good form since Indianapolis.
Great spot that one is. Aaron Lim currently in P7. P6. P7 at the moment. He's a bit down. He's 1.5 seconds down on the top 6. But Alex Young, wow, terrific. Let's have a look at more Nakib Aslan incidents.
Nakib there getting past on the slipstream cars for Eurasia before Rouge, and yep, just in time. Oh! No, that wasn't net code. That was contact. So yeah, that's Nakib.
And he collaterally took out Mel Winton as well. And I thought he was going to pull off a Mark Webber on Fernando Alonso back in 2013 there. But unfortunately, not enough room going through, and he has whacked it onto the outside of Radion.
Back at the front, Luke Bannister is now the man in P2. Are Luke and Josh playing a team game here, just making sure that they can keep close up with Mohammed Ibrahim, who is holding on to his lead. So Ibrahim is in P1, Bannister is in P2. But we're on board here with Josh Perwin, who's in P3. And is this teamwork at its finest at the moment?
I would say so, because despite Perwin up in second in the championship, he knows full well that Luke is actually very fast right now, and he needs to run a good results because he hasn't had a good couple of rounds. So this would be a good way for him to actually get a win here and put the championship title back on track. Oh, put it behind, there's a big accident. Looks like Josh Thomas and Ali actually were involved on the Camel Straight, and Josh is facing the wrong way.
There is Josh Thomas. He was in P5, but he's dropping down, and everybody is going past Josh Thomas, who is just static. The Australian was running very nicely in P5. We'll get back to that in just a while. Back up at the front, though. Ali, he doesn't look happy, does he? Mohammed Alif Hamilton in P5, and we're chasing him, and he's got Miko Nassi in his sights, Amo.
Yes, Alif will be quite lucky to get away with that one after this. And in fact, we get what happened to Freddie Ang and Kaylin Chin. Oh, Freddie into the barriers on the outside of Radion, and upside down he goes. Luckily, he didn't get collected close enough to his own brother Dominic there, and the car manages to flip the other way around somehow. But I think he's in the pits right now. He's out of this race.
Welcome to E1 Championship, Alex.
Yep, it's a steep learning curve. These are very difficult cars to drive. I'm interested to see if Thomas is still stuck there, because gosh, I hope he's being able to move. But yeah, no, back to the front three though. The front three is where the action is. Ibrahim there looking at the lead. And yeah, he's stuck in the pit lane, so he's done. Josh Thomas in the pit lane. But what's happened here?
So this is Ibrahim, back out with Ibrahim. So Ibrahim hasn't been able to shake off Bannister and Perwin. That's the thing I'm really looking at and really enjoying as they come down Eau Rouge once again. There is no real gap for Mohammed Ibrahim, although saying that, he's not under pressure either, Amo.
I wouldn't say that he's not under pressure, really, to be honest, because he is being caught right now in this race. Look, the slipstream is real, and look at that, he's trying to actually break it, but Bannister is not close enough to actually lunge a dive on the inside. Yeah, not this time. But the BAR guys are actually working well together here to actually catch up to the back of Ibrahim. This is his most tense race one ever.
2v1, Alex, halfway through.
Yeah, so let's see who's looking at the tyres the best. Wondering what tyre compound they're all on.
All on medium.
All on mediums. Okay, so they're all on the same strategy. Luke has to be very careful not to lose the slipstream of Ibrahim here, you feel. It's just dropping down 4/10 in the dirty air of Pouillon. But if you can just hold it there, keep the car from sliding, keep putting the pressure on Ibrahim, you never know what might happen.
Mohammed Ibrahim, a last lap, 1:42.19. Luke Bannister and Josh Perwin within, well, their same time. They are running mighty close. They've dropped Miko Nassi down in P4. So Miko Nassi, after coming second fastest in qualification, might have to miss out on a podium. But this is a thrilling race between the front three. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Let's have a look at Miko Nassi, see how he's racing, Amo.
Yeah, so far 4th place, and got mugged at the start by the two BlackArts brothers. sorry, I said brothers, I meant bros. But so far so good at least, and it's a good turn of form after what happened in the last few rounds where, for example, like Canada, he just got knocked out into space and disappeared for good. Indianapolis, he was up in the top 10 before he crashed, and in the previous round in Charlotte, he had an 8th and a 5th, but he would love to be up there challenging for the win. Right now, 4th place at least is a good return to form for him.
We should go back to the front because Luke is getting closer to Ibrahim. You can see from Luke's car, there we go. Oh, there he goes.
He's going to challenge for it. He's going on the outside, coming out to Lake Combe. Does he have the nose ahead? No, he doesn't. He just got slightly ahead, but Ibrahim got him into the corner.
But there is pressure on. Forgive me for saying there wasn't, but there is real pressure. And Luke Bannister, he's a cool, calm, calculating man. And you look at the body language in the screen's bottom right, and Ibrahim looks tense.
You can see his arms. Look, the amount of muscle tension that he has there. He is absolutely clutching that direct drive steering wheel. He is trying his best to keep Bannister behind, but you can feel that Bannister's got a bit between his teeth. Fastest lap so far, 4/10 ahead of Ibrahim. That might be attributed to the slipstream, but it's no doubt that Bannister is back on form here today.
Is Josh Perwin being dropped, Alex?
Yeah, it looks like he's been dropped a bit. Josh not looking as comfortable as his teammate Bannister, but Bannister, 3/10, that's pretty good. If he can just keep 3/10 to the next couple corners, he'll have a really big slipstream up to Le Combe.
Okay, let's have a look at whether they are able to do that. There is how close they are, and he's close again. He makes a move for the second time on this lap, but Mohammed Ibrahim has just got the corner quite right, but intense pressure coming from Luke Bannister, who, remember, was the championship lead after one round earlier on this season. We've got still 4.5 minutes to race, Amo.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes to go, and it's absolutely tense here right now. Look at that, 1/10 difference last time out in terms of lap time. Bannister definitely has the momentum here. We just can't find a way past. Ibrahim has been so good on the brakes to prevent that challenge, but I think this time around he might find it hard to actually keep him behind.
So Bannister tries to go around the outside again. Ibrahim's got just enough pace. Then he looks on the inside, and I can see Alex Young, you're wagging your finger.
Yeah, that was a last-minute change of direction just before the braking zone, maybe even in the braking zone. That will give him a problem. The stewards will have a look at that. So basically, you are only allowed one change of direction. Now, we do allow cars to weave if they're trying to break the braking zone. But once that car following is close enough, you got to stay static. You can't move. And Ibrahim had a last-minute change in the braking zone, or even if it's just before the braking zone, you will get a penalty for that.
What it means, though, is that Ibrahim has been able to pull a second and a bit on Luke Bannister, but there could be problems for Mohammed Ibrahim. If I can just go further down, break this off for just a moment. Aaron Lim is having a terrific battle here with Inigo Anton. How about this? Aaron Lim looks back, and there is Anton in his wing mirror.
Yeah, he's got to match his best ever result in this championship so far. Remember, he was 7th at Indianapolis 200, and that's his teammate Melvin Tan going off to the gravel. But he's got a bigger, tougher opponent to keep behind here in terms of Inigo Anton. Anton looking at the outside, Blanchimont. Oh, they touch each other, and Anton lost the wheel, I think, for a second, but the wheel recovered quickly. Now he raised his hands in gesticulation, knowing that probably Aaron should have given him a bit more room there coming through Blanchimont. But look at that. What an absolutely brilliant driver. We thought he could only drive in ovals. Nope, he drives well on the circuit, and Alex might be giving him a lot of good credit for that.
I don't think there was anything wrong with what Aaron was doing, wasn't he? We'll have to look at that again. But Inigo, again, just getting too close at the wrong point. He's been too impatient. You can't overtake there, so you don't need to be driving up the rear of someone. He needs to try and plan his moves a bit better, because he needs to do it into the bus stop chicane or at the end of this straight into Le Combe.
I need to tell you of a change. Josh Perwin has got himself into P2 ahead of Luke Bannister, but Mohammed Ibrahim has established a 2.5 second lead, so he's broken that slipstream. He has got away, but he could be in trouble later on.
Yeah, it could be a 5-second penalty here, because remember, that is a driving standards penalty, because you're not allowed to, as what Alex said, move twice. 10 seconds, okay, 10 seconds is the minimum we're given this round, so he might actually drop into 5th place behind his teammate Adleef if the penalty to be applied. But we have to wait and see whether or not that was fair, because by the look of Bannister's face, he was also raising his hands in gesticulation, knowing that that was actually not a clean way to defend.
Mohammed Ibrahim, he is our race leader. Josh Perwin alongside Luke Bannister, 2 and 3. It's been a really, really cohesive drive from the BlackArts Racing pairing. They are working as a team, Alex.
Yeah, I should talk about them a bit, because they have won something like 12 real-life single-seater championships in the last 10 years. They're the most successful single-seater race team in Asia. They've won that many championships. Formula Renault championships in China. Gosh, I lost count. They were the Asian Formula 3 champions 2 years ago. So they're a serious real-life team. They've hired these young guns, proper sim drivers, Josh Perwin and Luke Bannister. But obviously, they are working well together in 2nd and 3rd position.
And that was team orders, I think, for Josh and Luke, because he thought that, okay, Luke's faster, let him by. Let's see if we could attack Ibrahim and try to challenge for the win. That plan sadly has actually backfired slightly, so just change back, because Perwin is for the championship, because he's 2nd right now. He doesn't want to lose too much points on Ibrahim.
Could be.
We've got 40 seconds to go. We are on the last lap. This is your race leader, but Alex Young has a raised eyebrow about Mohammed Ibrahim. Nonetheless, gosh, he's quick.
Oh, he's super quick. But look, you know, Amos talked about it. He raised it. He's super tense. He's using so much energy. And yes, it's a sprint race, but if this was you're doing a double, triple, quadruple stint at Le Mans, there's no way you could maintain that sort of energy output for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, you could get tired from just sitting still, actually, rather than being on track.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he is absolutely tense right now. This has not been the easiest of race 1 wins he's ever had, but boy, did he deserve it, or undeserved. We'll have to wait and see until the stewards actually give their verdict on that defense maneuver that Bannister found a foul of it.
Yeah, they'll have a look at it, I think, after race 2. They'll have to send the videos in. That is the process. But for now, as far as we can see, Mohammed Ibrahim has won the first race.
Well, looks like that. He's got 4.5 seconds over Josh Perwin and Luke Bannister, but Ibrahim comes through to take the checkered flag. Ibrahim comes over first. Perwin will lead ahead of Luke Bannister for P2 as they come through. A good P4 for Miko Nassi. Alif Hamilton, 7 seconds down, will come in P5. But our race winner, subject to a race review, Mohammed Ibrahim.
Hi, Ibrahim, can you hear us? Wow, that looked like a tense race for you, but talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a very tough, quite a tough race because they were working together. They actually even one point pushing each other down the straight. So it's quite a challenging race because the slipstream is so powerful here. So I couldn't get away.
So what was the difference there? Because I mean, you obviously had almost a 1 second gap to everybody else in qualifying, but it looked like the two Australians were able to keep up. Do you reckon it was all down to slipstream, or have they just caught a little bit more pace since qualifying?
Yeah, I think they have a bit more race pace, but around Spa, the tow is worth seconds. So I believe it's a mixture of both, but mostly tow, I believe.
And do you want to take us through because you Bannister got very close at one stage, and it seemed like you moved just at the top of Lacombe. Looked like a move under braking, Ibrahim.
No, that was not. I was not on the brakes yet. So, and there was also a car there in the way on the straight, so it was very difficult for me to do anything about it.
Okay. Well, race 2 now. It's top 11 reversed, so you're going to start P11 from race 2. Like you said, the slipstream is strong, so you should be able to make up quite a few positions.
Yeah, but I think everybody else will have slipstream because in race 1, I'm the only guy who doesn't have slipstream. So yeah, everyone has, but hopefully I can get as far up as possible without having any incidents again.
Well, you're going to have slipstream working in your favor in race 2. Best of luck, Ibrahim.
Yep, thank you guys.
Good luck.
All right, now it's over to Des to walk us through the unofficial results from race 1.
Yeah, reminder, this is the unofficial result. And it's Mohammed Ibrahim, Team Flash, who took it 4.4 seconds clear of Josh Perwin and Luke Bannister for BlackArts Racing. Miko Nassi, a safe P4 for Safehouse. Alif picking up points again for Team Flash in 5. Kalen Chin will pick up 10 points for BlackWolf. Inigo Anton got up to 7th place. That's a heck of a drive from him. Hakimi P8. Aaron Lim. Hopefully we can talk to Aaron. He's had an outstanding season. Top 10 places are very good. Dominic Ang in P10. Joaquim Garrido. Nakib, how unlucky. 11th is the reverse grid. Nakib got himself up to P12. Not his day today. Vantagiato in the points, as is Melwin Tam and Josh Thomas, who recovered after spinning out. Out of the points, debutants Freddie Ang, Dan Martin, Arif Azmi, who got off to a dreadful start.
Thank you, Des. Spa-Francorchamps always has some excellent racing, but I didn't quite expect there to be that many incidents. I can't wait to see the highlights, which will be coming your way right after this break. We'll see you then.
When I switched to pro mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid $790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was $1,290. Pro mileage was the only one that gave me $5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking pro mileage. I said, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
Hello, welcome back to the E1 Championship Season 2 at Spa-Francorchamps. We just wrapped up qualifying and race 1, a sprint race on the lovely Spa circuit. A lot of action, a lot of incidents to unfold and unpack, but no better way to get those insights than to speak to the drivers themselves. Let's start off by speaking to Aussie Luke Bannister of BlackArts Racing. Luke, walk us through that race 1. I mean, it looked like you had quite a bit of pace. We could see that you were maybe holding back for the first half of the race to let Josh have a go at Ibrahim.
Yeah, the first half we wanted to get that gap to P4 it would be, so we could make sure we were first, second and third kind of in that group by ourselves, so that the worst we could get was second or third. And then yeah, I think we swapped a few laps in and then I had to go at getting past Ibrahim.
Yeah, you had some great pace, put him under some big pressure. But there was one small incident where we thought you were going to have a go and then you backed out of it. What happened there?
There was one time, I think it was the closest I was, and I had the best run I had up until that point. And then I was behind him, and we got to Eau Rouge, and then through Eau Rouge, and then at Les Combes, I went right, and he kind of moved right. It was close to the braking zone. I don't know, I guess the stewards will have to decide whether it was in the braking zone kind of thing. And then, yeah, I braked a bit, and then just had a bit of a slide through Les Combes, and then lost the slipstream. And then from there, it was P2 or 3 after that.
And then ultimately, it was Josh who finished ahead. Was that a tactical move with the points in mind?
Partly yes, and partly just to make sure that we finished second and third, and we didn't take each other out and have a mess.
Fair enough. And in terms of pace, I mean, there was quite a big delta. We did say before between the rest of the field and Ibrahim in qualifying. It looked like you guys caught up in that pace during the race. Were there any differences between how you approached qualifying?
Well, our setup, we always build our setup for the race, making sure that we will have tyres in the race come the end of the race and just during the race. So we might lose a little bit of quali pace doing that, but then I also made a bit of a mistake on my quali lap. I didn't get the best lap I could have, so the gap could have been a bit less, maybe a few tenths, but the thing around Spa is the slipstream is just massive, so that part as well really helped.
Well, it looked like you did have the pace in race 1. You're definitely going to have the slipstream to help you in race 2 with the reverse grid. Best of luck.
Well, one question. So with the slipstream so strong, what's your strategy for race 2?
Hopefully, slipstream past everyone in P1 on lap 1.
Easy.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to go on board with him because this driver is going to have a lot of action, I feel.
Similar strategy with Naqib Aslan, straight to the front. Good stuff from Luke Bannister. Let's go and speak to Malaysian racing legend Aaron Lim. Yeah. Aaron, it's your first time in the E1 Championship, and once again we're speaking to you, and you're having a pretty good season so far. I mean, a lot of top 10 finishes, a lot of healthy points for the championship. How was your race 1?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really good start in race 1, avoided most of the collision. Pretty much ran my own race, couldn't keep up with the top 5 at a point, but tried to be consistent. Yeah, at the end, I tried my best to hang on for the last 2 laps, but yeah, it was tough against these top guys.
We did see you in those last few laps with Inigo Anton right on your tail. It was a little bit of contact. Can you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, I think he was on the outside, and maybe I must have, just gave him a little bit, I think not enough room. But thankfully, none of us crashed, so that was okay.
Fair enough.
Well,
Alex.
Good. I mean, well, you start further up the grid in race 2. Any differences on the car? Can you make any setup changes to try and find a bit more pace? Think you can hang it out in the front a bit longer?
Well, I'll try my best. Let's see, with the strategies, with the different tires and whatnot. So, yeah, I'll give it my best shot.
That's a good point. What is the best strategy? One stop, hard, medium, soft?
Well, so far on this track, I mean, I've tried with the mediums. It's worked pretty well. If whoever can make the mediums last long enough, I think would have the advantage with the shorter stop at the end. So, will be interesting to see.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good luck,
right.
Aaron. We've got time for one more interview. Let's go straight to Freddie Ang. He's making his debut in the E1 Championship tonight. Let's get Freddie up on screen. Freddie, Good to see you. You're a driver that I know very well. I've actually raced against you and your younger brother. You're two of the three Ang brothers that make up the racing family trio. So good to see you making your debut on the E1 Championship in E-Racing. Walk us through your race one.
The race one was quite bad. I think I had a bit of collision at the start, then got up to P8. But then after Kaden passed me through Rouge, I didn't know it's so much different following another car behind. So just a bit of inexperience there, and went off and hit the wall sadly.
Wow, that was a spectacular accident because we saw you at the top of Radial upside down. But the speed of these cars is something else as well, huh?
Yeah, it's actually my first time driving this car, so I only had like 3 days of practice, and I think the inexperience has got me, still getting used to the car, and it's so much faster compared to other cars on iRacing, so just trying to get used to it.
Well, a lot to learn. We know you've got a lot of racing experience under your belt. I'm sure that racecraft is going to prove very useful in the reverse grid in Race 2. Best of luck, and good to see you in our championship.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have the very exciting highlights from Race 1.
Here we go with the start. You see, we missed that first lap crash in the actual broadcast, but here we can see that so many cars got involved. Both Stratos cars lost a lot of time in that first corner. And then Ibrahim there. Here we are on board with Ibrahim. Some of the action. Indigo Anto had a good race, getting up to, I think, P7 by the end of the race. So good start, good for him, P7, P6. Here we got Nakeem trying to get back up, but then clashing one of the Slipstream cars. And then here we got Luke Bannister with that overtake, trying to go around the outside of Ibrahim, not able to at this point. But then the next lap, he got really, really close into the braking zone. Had to look for the inside. There he is. Missed that action. But Ibrahim was able to hold on to the end, win his 5th race 1 in a row with both PRs, 2nd and 3rd.
Final result brought to you by Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Mohammed Ibrahim at the top, 25 points, 5th win of the season. Josh Perwin in P2, Luke Bannister, fastest lap and a P3. So good day at the office for BlackArts Racing. Miko Nasi safely in P4. Good for him. Mohammed Ali, the defending champion, in P5. Kalen Chin and Anton completing the top 7. Then it's all Malaysia. Mika, Aaron and Dominic Ang getting through 8, 9 and 10.
Thank you very much, Des. Up next we have Race 2, which has that twist of not only being longer, but also has a reverse grid. And you need that raw pace, you need that racecraft to be able to overtake. But looking at BlackArts Racing, they have that team strategy working in their favor. We saw that in Race 1. We saw them working with each other. And in the interview just now with Luke Bannister, he also said, they were working together to try and keep up with Mohammed Ibrahim. I think it's only a matter of time before we see whether or not that actually helps you win championships.
Working together?
Yeah.
No, you gotta say for sure. I think Ibrahim was missing his teammate. Alif was struggling for pace today, wasn't he? I think finished in 5th position, 10 seconds off the lead. So that's not where he should be. I know it's problem with Singaporeans, for Singaporeans, sorry, is that there's national service obviously right now. So he's in the middle of national service, working day and night. So he's struggling to do the practice that he normally does, and I think that's starting to tell. So Ibrahim does need a leaf up there, and having both BlackArts drivers working together against him is hurting him for sure.
Well, looking at the front for Race 2, we have Joaquin Garrido, who finished in 11th, starting on pole position for Race 2. We know that a lot of the Filipino fans are on our Facebook live stream, so they might be able to relay some information. Any words of wisdom to pass on, starting on pole?
Well, I mean, there's nothing I'm going to tell him. Joaquin's got a great team behind him, GT Radial Eurasia, a very experienced team, do the actual Le Mans 24 hours in real life. So they have plenty of people helping those drivers.
All right, well, we're only moments away from our Race 2. We've got Des and Amo walking you through the action very soon, but first, a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid 790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was 1,290. Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking from Malaysia. I say, huh? 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
Hello again and welcome back to E1 Season 2 Round 5 at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. After that gripping 15-minute sprint race, let's hope the drivers keep up to speed for the last race of the day, the 30-minute reverse grid race. Now, Spa challenges the skills and bravery of drivers with an average speed of around 230 kilometers per hour, as cars are flat out roughly 70% of the time. The Camel Straight could see multiple overtaking opportunities as drivers attempt to use Slipstream to out-jostle each other for pole position. Or will the overtaking happen mostly during the corners? Back to you guys at the commentary desk.
Good comments from Andrea. Yes, welcome back to the E1 Championship. It's the Premier Sim Racing competition, and it's brought to you from Evo Club Car Insurance with Pro Mileage. Save up to 40% on your next claim. EvoClubInsurance.com is the venue, and here is our grid. Mohammed Ibrahim, no, that's the wrong grid. That's the old grid, isn't it?
Race 1 grid. Oh, is it?
That's...
Yeah, it's a bit mixed up there because the top 3 just now was actually from the start of the race, but after that we saw Aaron Lim.
Oh, it's okay.
So
we can go back to
the bit of a mashup there.
Sorry, we can still go back to the cars and we can talk us through it.
Well, Joaquim Garrido is the man who will be on pole position alongside Dominic Ang, Aaron Lim and Mick Hakimini on the second row, Anton and Kalen Chin on the third. The race is starting pretty soon. They are all set up. It's a 30-minute competition. Now, are we just about to have a
rolling start?
A rolling start?
Yep.
Indeed we are. So we are underway. Joaquim Garrido from GT Radial Eurasia in pole position. Dominic Ang alongside him. Aaron Lim, I've loved the work of Aaron Lim alongside Mika Hakimi. Kalen Chin and Inigo Anton starting up in 6th. You get a good start here, Amo, and you never know. You may well be able to hold on.
Well, you can say Bob's your uncle then if you actually have the lead of the race, but then again, further behind might just be mayhem. So if it affects the guys all the way in front, that might also be a curse there to be on pole position. So Garrido needs to get a jump on the rest of the field here so that he doesn't get caught up with any kerfuffles behind us. So now he's going to get the green flag.
Corner number 1 is crucial, Alex Young, as Joaquim Garrido gets us underway, and Joaquim Garrido gets a good start. Let's look behind just to see how much mayhem there really is. Well, Garrido has got through away nice and quickly. He's very, very sweetly through, and behind them a little bit of contact, and I think it was Nakib Aslan who's had problems once again, Alex Young. But at the front, Dominic Ang and Garrido off very, very safely. Inigo Anton drops down to P, way down.
Yeah, so incident in Eau Rouge, but his teammates at the front challenging for the lead, and he goes back in front ahead of Dominic Ang.
So Joaquim Garrido leading the way. GT Radial Eurasia. It's not normally him who's there. Look at the lead they've established. Miko Nassi is the man who's got himself up into P3. But let's hold on to this battle for P1 as Dominic Ang spins out and Garrido has a 2-second lead at the front.
Wow, wait, that's actually quite aggressive driving for Garrido. I've never seen him drive this hard for the lead of the race. But then again, he's never been in a position to actually challenge for the lead. So this is a great thing for him to actually get his first win. As look further behind, Bannister is actually involved in an accident just now because one guy in the pit lane, Mika Hakimi, while Josh Thomas also is involved as well. We probably get a replay of that very soon. In fact, we get a replay now. We're getting a view from Josh's on board. There's Bannister representing his teammate. Now he left him a bit of space, but what happened here? Coming out to the source, well, that's actually Ibrahim going on the inside. Oh, he's been hit by Ibrahim, and Ibrahim goes right through him. So, and the second contact loses a wheel. That might be incurring a bit of a penalty from the stewards.
What I can tell you though, as we come back live, Mohammed Ibrahim, Alex Young, has got himself up into P4 from P11 after just 1 lap.
What a great lap by the Indian, and it's looking really good here because the cars behind him are fighting, and he has a massive gap at the end of lap 1. So with the 3 cars in front, maybe, you know, there's less cars he has to fight with the slipstream. If he can get past these 3 cars, he can break away at the front to win race 2.
The 3 cars he's got in front of him are Kalen Chen, Nico Nassi and Joaquim Garrido. As they go through Eau Rouge, Garrido will find himself under pressure all of a sudden. He's got Nassi just behind. Further down, there's an incident with Josh Thomas.
Sorry, we were just about to watch a battle for the lead, which we've just missed. Can we go back to the front?
That's what happened to Josh then. That's why he's actually all the way back in 14th place. He got actually taken out by driver further behind when they were trying to avoid Dominic Ang. This is Miko Nassi up in front. Yeah, we're back to the live action then. So Garrido has actually been mugged for first. Sorry for the replay, but Miko Nassi takes the lead. Kalen Chin follows suit. So the iRacing specialists are first and second right now.
And Mohammed Ibrahim, he is closing in as well, Alex Young, on the back here of Joaquim Garrido. Garrido was in P1, but has just been swamped by the faster racers. But this is awkward for Ibrahim. He's just going to have to wait for a bit of a straight and get a bit of a slipstream before he can use his real pace. Frustration for Ibrahim.
Yes, well, this is where the straight comes in. He's got the slongs, and that's it. He's in the slipstream, and he's just going to make it quite easy past Garrido.
So there is Mohammed Ibrahim, moves into P3. And my word, we are barely into this race. We've had less than 5 minutes. Oh, and Garrido tries to nick on the inside through the final chicane, but it's safely through for Mohammed Ibrahim. This is the race lead though. Miko Nassi, second fastest in qualification, and looking pretty good here, Miko Nassi, as he comes down Eau Rouge. Let's just follow him, see what he takes. Mohammed Ibrahim in the meantime.
This is how Garrido lost the lead actually, and yeah, he ran wide across Lake Combe and under pressure from Nassi, so Nassi got first and Kalen also followed suit. But somehow he managed to hold on to third for that particular brief period of time from Ibrahim. But Ibrahim, of course, we saw just got by as change for the lead. Kalen overtakes Miko Nassi as we got out of replay about the same point here as well.
Yeah, there is Kalen Chin. So are Kalen and Miko Nasi, even though they're not teammates, Alex, are they going to try to adopt the same strategy as the BlackArts Racing team did in the first and try and use the slipstream to get some pace?
Well, Miko Nasi, I bet, will be thinking about this, but I don't think Kalen is, because Kalen's just going, right, I'm out of here, and he's actually putting quite a bit of a gap. Here we're watching the replay of Kalen just going around the outside. He's on the left, goes around the outside. Miko Nasi's not fighting him. I think Miko's got his eye on the bigger prize, which is like, there's a long way to go. Let's see if we can work together to try and pull a gap to Ibrahim.
We are back on board with Kalen Chin. He is the race leader, and that lead is 2/3 of a second now from Miko Nasi. Miko always looks rather somnolent in the cockpit. He's always chilled, and he's not being dropped too far. He's actually pulled that back into within half a second, so maybe they will work together.
Yeah, I mean,
must be a Finn thing that he's so relaxed behind the wheel. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, pulled it back quite easily, didn't he? But yeah, no, it's I'm not sure they are working together. I don't think so, but it would be smart if they did.
Coming down once again to Eau Rouge. This is Nasi in P2. Kalen Chin ahead of him in P1. Mohammed Ibrahim has really come through nicely into P3. They are the front two. The differential, 2 and a bit seconds between Nasi in second and Mohammed Ibrahim as Nasi uses the slipstream. Nasi is the new race leader. Chin just slots in nicely behind him. Nod of approval from Amo Haziq.
They're working together. As Alex was thinking for a second that they might not be working together, but I think they are actually, because they are trying to pull the slipstream away from Ibrahim. But having said that, the gap just now was about 2.4 seconds coming out of Lake Combe. It's now 2.1. So Ibrahim, regardless of them working together, is still chasing.
Yeah. Let's just see if we can pull away, just see how other people are doing. Josh Perwin is in P5 at the moment as we look at, an incident. Dominic Ang is there.
Oh! And that was, I think, because of, is that Melvin or is that Aaron Lim involved? But regardless, it was an EGG car. And Dominic Ang, well, he clutched the short straw and crashes straight into the barriers at Blanchimont. So a bit of a kerfuffle there between 3 or 4 drivers. But unfortunately, Dominic Ang, despite not being involved, got collateral.
This is the battle for P4, where Josh Perwin is the man in possession. He's got Garrido and Mohammed Alif behind them. So Garrido has done well, Alex Young. Well, nearly 7 minutes in, and he stayed in contention up at the top. But now he's dropping down, further down. He's dropped down to P6, Garrido.
I don't think he's got the pace. So now it's whether Alif has just got past Garrido, whether he can work with Josh to try and catch the top 3.
So the top 3 are still out and about as we stick with Mohammed Alif. So Alif has got himself up into P5. Yeah, Mohammed Ibrahim and Josh Perwin are quite a way ahead of him. He's 1 second down on Perwin is Alif. That's the battle for Paul. Perwin goes through. Alif there and Garrido drops back.
And going back up to the front, Kalen has actually retaken the lead from Miko again, but their tactic of trying to actually swap each other's slipstream at the Camel Straight has not paid off. Look at that! Ibrahim is only about under a second behind, so the tactic to work together has not paid off, and Ibrahim, by sheer pace, is now back up to the front 2 here, and potentially gonna get a double here at Spa.
So Alex Young, so Ibrahim, it's 2-on to want him in every race so far. And yet, he seems to be happy to take on those odds in this particular race.
Yeah, but Kalen and Miko, you watch race 1, you could see when it was Ibrahim and the 2 BlackArts cars out in front, how much road they were using. They were on the limit every corner. See, Kalen and Miko have been much more sedate. They're not carrying the same speed as the guys in race 1, or using enough road. And that's why Ibrahim's been able to catch him and soon going to complete the overtake of both cars.
Well, Ibrahim has got himself up into P2, and this could be a potential win double. There will be a protest, I'm sure, lodged for race 1, so it might be taken off him. But race 2, this is a consummate move from Mohammed Ibrahim this early on. And as they go down into Eau Rouge, I am pretty sure that this is an opportunity for Ibrahim if he's close enough to take the lead.
Yeah, he might be very close. In fact, 3/10. If they come out of Eau Rouge at Radon within that 3/10, he's rest assured he is going to get this lead. And look at that. A bit of a shimmy there between both drivers, but Ibrahim comes through and takes the lead. But look at that. Nasi in 3rd place, the second of the 2 cars on frame right now. gets 2 toes, but unfortunately not enough, and he stays third. But Ibrahim blasts himself into the lead, and that was pretty much expected. But lest we forget, he might be protested there by that incident at the very first corner when he hit Josh.
Can we talk about tyres? What tyres are the top 3?
Everybody's on medium. Everybody apart from Arif in P8 on medium.
That's so interesting because you see the body language of the cars. Ibrahim looks like he's on mediums, but Chin and especially Miko Nasi, he looks like he's on hards. He doesn't look like he's pushing that car at all.
Well, there is Miko Nasi. He's in P3 at the moment. He's 0.4 of a second down on Kalen Chin. They've just got to stay close to Ibrahim, but Ibrahim has just swatted them aside in this last half lap.
Yeah, in fact, the tactic of working together might be against what they might have thought it might have been against Ibrahim, but it's actually been beneficial for them because them swapping positions has allowed Ibrahim to get close. And look at that, the moment that he took the lead this lap, it's almost a second now, and I believe they've already lost the toe. They're going to have to consign themselves to chasing him for the rest of the race.
Gosh, that is tough. That is tough. Further down the field as Mohammed Ibrahim leads going into the next lap. Further down, Inigo Anton has got himself up into P6, a P7 from race 1, having been banished from qualification for being a bad boy. He's got himself up into P6 again. Quick, Alex Young.
Yeah, very quick indeed. His fastest laps at 42.4. That's definitely without slipstream though, because if you have got a slipstream and you overtake someone down the Camel Straight, you'll be in the 41s. But he's got a big arse go, but he is closing the gap slowly to Muhammad Alif just further up the road from him.
Further down on them, how about Luke Bannister, who was in a battle for the win in race number 1, actually had to settle for a podium. That's him and Naki Baslan. This is P10. This is tough for Luke Bannister in race 2.
Just as we thought that his form was a bit of a rebound, it has actually come crashing back down to earth, firmly in terra firma. But there's still about, half the race left to go, less than half the race left to go. So, sorry, more than half the race left to go for Luke. He can still recover some points and come up to at least the top 5. But this second race is proving to be detrimental for him as he hits the back of Arif Azmi there. Arif might have been a bit rude in that defense, and for sure that might just be another instance where we saw, like in race 1, Ibrahim defending a bit too hard.
Well, we've got Arif Azmi here, and he's under a lot of pressure from Luke Bannister, and Nakib is closing in as well. It's for the minor placings at this stage with what have we had? Nearly 12 minutes of the 30 minutes to go. This is the battle for P9. Arif making himself as big as he possibly can, Alex.
Yeah, Arif there with 2 moves earlier on. He'll definitely get a penalty for that, I feel. But we will see.
And also the fact that this is not the first time that Arif has actually blocked off BlackArts car to let Nakib Aslan through. Remember, we saw that in Indianapolis where he blocked off Josh and let Nakib through. So this might be yet another driver that's into the bad books of the top drivers for Arif Azmi.
Well, that is the battle at the moment for, Luke Bannister in P9. Next, he'll be looking at Joaquim Garrido as they come down through Eau Rouge. Love this view. You don't get this often on the real racing cars. That's beautiful as Luke Bannister looks forward, and then Nakib Aslan is in the slipstream. Alex Young tries to go around the outside, and Nakib Aslan is able, or is he not? No, Bannister holds on.
Good defense there by Bannister, wasn't it? Obviously running less downforce in the Stratos cars, is able to hold him off. And let's see if Bannister can now pull away from Aslan, because Bannister had great pace in race 1, and he's only all the way back there because of those first lap incidents.
Well, there is Luke Bannister using the full width of the tarmac, plus some of the green stuff as well. That is the man who is in P9. Nakib Aslan behind him in P10. Further down, I can tell you that we've had 3 racers already out of this race. Mika Hakimi, Ivan Vantagiato, and Freddie Yang have all dropped out.
And I got word from Mika, seeing what he said about, in a private message. He said that he got flipped out by Kalen, so that would be interesting in the stewards room, that he got hit by his own teammate. So friendly fire as first of the pit stops, then Ibrahim comes into the pits.
Very early, Alex.
Very early. I wonder if he's going to go to the hard tyre, because this is too early to make it to the end of the medium tyre, I would have thought.
Well, we'll keep a close eye on that. So Mohammed Ibrahim, they were saying if you can make the medium last a long time and have a short pit stop, that's possibly the way to go. So we'll wait for Ibrahim, and he is on medium compounds again.
Well, the car will be lighter. He won't be carrying as much fuel as the beginning of the race. So maybe he can make it all the way to the end with these medium tyres, especially if he looks after him in the first few laps.
So he's the first man to go into the pits. Luke Bannister also into the pits early as well. And Luke, let's see what tyres he comes out on. Medium as well. Nobody's brave enough to go for the soft.
No. It seems as though tyre wear is a bit severe here at Spa-Francorchamps, and they decided to just go on mediums and hards. In fact, we have not seen a single soft tyre being used apart from qualifying at this round.
Beautiful shot. Just back out, back up at the front. I can tell you that Miko Nassi is the man in the race lead, but he hasn't pitted. Kalen Chin is right behind him. Josh Purwin 6 seconds down on them. Purwin hasn't pitted. We haven't really mentioned Purwin so far today, or in this race, Alex. He got a P2 in race number 1, but he's a clever, canny strategist, is Josh Purwin.
Yeah, he is, and I guess he's trying to stretch out those tyres a bit more. 15 minutes to go, halfway through this race. Maybe he'll be thinking about pitting. Actually, it'd be interesting to see if Nassi or Chin are pitting this lap.
Well, Miko Nassi does. Kalen Chin stayed out. Exactly as you called it, Alex. Miko Nassi goes into the pits on the medium compound. So the man in the lead out on the circuit is Kalen Chin, who is going to try to make these last as long as he can. We're beyond the halfway stage.
And I think you need to go, sorry, you need to go into the pits. Josh Thomas in the pits, Nakib Aslan, Joaquin Garrido, and, well, Azmi. In fact, all of them are coming to the pits except for Kalen. Now, I was about to say, Kalen will be a bit smart here to stay out a bit longer because the amount of traffic that will be behind him. And Ibrahim came out behind traffic. He was behind Dominic Ang. So that would actually play into his hands. But unfortunately, the rest of the field have also pitted. So he just has to push on his in-lap so that he could stay out in front of Ibrahim. He's got 2 seconds of delta to actually stay out.
Apart from Josh Purwin. Josh Purwin stayed out as well, Alex.
Yep, so these two guys obviously trying to go a bit longer. Maybe when they go to the mediums, they can push a bit harder. Or do you think they'll take a gamble maybe and try the softs?
Well, of those, Aaron Lim, Dan Martin and Melwin Tan are on hards. Everybody else out on the mediums. This is the man in P2 at the moment, Josh Purwin. That's a lovely cockpit shot, isn't it? I don't use that one enough as he comes around the chicane.
The car looks like skating a lot, to be honest, because probably that's the nature of the car. You really have to be tippy-toeing yourself around here. Look at that. Not my steering input, but the car is just absolutely on, well, literally is driving on ice. The car looks like it's about to slide, but it can still be in that range of control. And Purwin then 5.9 seconds behind his fellow countryman, and happy to actually hang back here for now.
Well, the question is whether he goes into the pits. Kalen Chin is in the pits. Does Josh Purwin stay out? The answer is no. Everybody now has pitted, so it means that the man who will be leading the race after all the pit stops may well be Mohamed Ibrahim.
Yeah, because he's got a 2-second gap to Miko Nassi, 2.5 seconds. So looks like he'll inherit the lead. Let's see if Kalen Chin will come out of the pit lane close. But you can see, yeah, Miko Nassi just in the background as well.
So Mohamed Ibrahim, that straight is there. We are looking to see if Nassi will come out ahead of him, and the answer is no.
2.7 seconds. In fact, Ibrahim gained 0.7 of a second. In fact, he was 2 seconds ahead prior to the pit. So he had a good outlap and in-lap prior to his pit stop. So, yeah, 2.8 seconds now. 3 seconds, no chance. Kalen lost a lot of time here for the overcut. But having said that, he's got 2 lap fresher tires, so he might still be able to attack both of these guys in front of him towards the end of the race.
That was your 1, 2, 3 just in your shot there. Purwin, he has pitted as well. He's come out in P4 ahead of Mohamed Alif, who really hasn't had the pace today, Alif, has he, Alex?
Yeah, just struggling a little bit. We saw it in race 1. I think he's short on practice, to be honest. But yeah, he's just trying to do the best that he can with the little preparation he's had for this race.
As we know, though, he is the defending champion, and I think he's being a great teammate to Mohamed Ibrahim. I really do. I think he's just picking up points for Team Flash and making sure that they are really competing at the very top of the championship standings. That's why they are top, largely because of this man's points. But Alif is there in P5, will pick up useful points once again.
And here's another thing to note. Alif, among the top 3 drivers in the top 3 championships, right, standings right now, is the only one to actually finish in the top 10 in every single race so far. So he's building that consistency, and that's why he's in 3rd place in the championship. But he has not been able to break this stranglehold that Ibrahim has in the championship, where he's been fast in qualifying and he's been good in race 1. And now he's proving to be good in race 2 as well. So it's just that it's the sheer quality that Ibrahim has brought here has literally upstaged what has been a good performance this season so far from Alif. It's just that it's not been enough to overhaul this guy.
310 kilometers per hour as he hits the base of Eau Rouge and holds that one pretty lovely. It's a beautiful sight, that, Alex.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful track. And Ibrahim's driving this track beautifully. Big gap now, 4 seconds to Mikko Nassi. Kalen Chin another 2 seconds behind that.
Gives us a chance maybe just to go down, have a little look as we approach the final 10 minutes. Inigo Anton, P6. He's going to pick up useful points again, but not a podium, not big points, Amo.
Yeah, that qualifying bend has absolutely affected his entire weekend. Yeah, he's proved that he can actually overtake drivers and charge up his way to the top 10, in fact, close to the top 5. But it's a case of what might have been had it not been for that quality bend. And to be honest, you said that he was kind of like being a bad boy here. I would say that he's been a victim of circumstance in some occasions where the incident points just racked up by virtue of the fact he was involved in it. Some of them was not even of his own doing. So it's just a case of what if now, if he could actually just not have that quality bend.
Josh Thomas not too far away though, Alex. The differential between Anton in 6th and Thomas in 7th for Team Safehouse. Less than, well, it's 0.7 of a second at the moment.
Yeah, I'm surprised at Thomas's pace today. He's been, okay, actually, no, race 1 he got taken out by Mohamed Alif, didn't he, down the Camel Straight. So he had to start race 2 right at the very back. So it's been a race of recovery for him. Yeah, so he's going with Anton. His last lap was a 42.1, so he's got good lap time, and I guess just trying to recover after the race 1 incident.
So Inigo Anton feeling the pressure from the Australian Thomas. They are on lap 13 at the moment. This is the battle for P6, and Anton is there at the moment, but might find himself under real pressure on this next straight. As they come down, they start their lap 13. This the battle for P6. Anton in the white, Thomas in the black. Has a look on the outside, surely not overtaking there. Maybe this is a better place to have a look.
Yeah, because we saw, remember, Nakib tried to do that same thing in race 1. He got clouted into the barriers. Now Josh Thomas thinking of the same thing. Backs off, gets the slipstream, and overtakes Anton for 6. Cuts across there for good measure to defend. So he has every right to do that since he's the car in front, and he just overtook. So 6th place for Thomas is good recovery after a disastrous race 1.
Up at the front, I can tell you, Mohamed Ibrahim has established a near 5-second lead, Alex.
Yeah, it's a great lead. No one can touch him right now in race 2. He's just pulling away from everyone. He did do that early pit stop though, so I think that's the only thing that could possibly trip him up, is if he runs out of tyre on the second set of tyres. But such is his lead right now that he can really back it off and should still come out home in front.
How about Luke Bannister, BlackArts Racing? We'll visit Josh Purwin in a moment, but Bannister is in P8 at the moment, and the man right behind him, Nakib Aslam.
Looks like they've been together all race, don't you think, Des? Because we saw them battling for a certain amount of time. Then Bannister got the better of Nakib. Now that the pit stops have cycled their way through, they're still together. And Nakib here probably be wishing that he'd be battling the other BlackArts car right up in 4th place right now for the top 5 positions. But alas, it has not been a good run for him, despite being a winner here back in season 0. Twice.
A double winner, double winner. But he was unlucky with the roll of the dice as well. Top 11 were reversed. Nakib came in 12th in race 1.
Just 1 position short, as Martin Brother would say, a dollar late and a day short. So, sorry, a dollar short and a day late. So, unfortunately for Nakib, that's how the cookie has crumbled for him. Now he's just hoping to finish in this top 10. In fact, 8th will be a bonus for him, and 7 if Inigo were to be caught by both of them.
There is the battle for 8th and 9th place. Arif Azmi, I can tell you, Josh Thomas and Inigo Anton having a right old ding-dong battle there, and Thomas has re-established himself in P6, Alex Young.
Yeah, looking very good. I mean, I think I got a feeling this is going to go to the end because they both got very similar lap time. So it could become to a bit of a strategy. Who wants to lead on the last lap? Because you're going to get the slipstream up to Lecombe.
We are on lap 14 at the moment. There are 6 minutes still to race. They're lapping what, in the 141s or so. So what have we got? What's the maths? Four laps 4 laps left. Yeah.
6 plus-ish. I mean, we can take 6. Take 6 the most. So coming up now into the final sector, look at that. That's a bit of gravel that Joshua Thomas actually got onto his tyres. Didn't lose that much momentum, and Inigo Anton probably gets the slipstream now. There we go. He's gotten the slipstream. Thought that Thomas would lose a lot more momentum than that as they come out to Blanchimont here. Will there be a move from Inigo? Remember, he has had instances in the past where he got moves a bit wrong. He's a thinking man this time. He backs off and probably wants to get him at the end of Rouge and Radion and onto the Camel Straight and up to Lake Cone.
Well, we're on board once again with Inigo Anton in P7. Loses just a little bit there as they come round corner number 1, La Source. And this is always a view as they come sweeping down the hill. In the real life wet, it was a terrifying scene. In the Formula 1 here, it's a little bit more graceful, but can Anton get close enough? Doesn't look like he's been able to. Look at the weaving ahead of him, Alex Young.
That's not legal.
Well, that's pretty extreme, isn't it? But Anton wasn't close enough, and I've seen this with Anton before. He's not very sharp when he's in the slipstream. I've seen, because he seems to be too relaxed with the slipstream. For me, I'd be following that car all the way, even though he's weaving, because it's better to be in the slipstream. So Anton really needs to make sure he's, because Josh is doing the right thing. He's trying to break the slipstream, but I don't feel Anton is trying hard enough to stay in the slipstream.
Looking further down, P10, quickly just go through the field. Arif Azmi in P10. Joaquim Garrido is the man who's chasing him. There is Joaquim Garrido, who at one stage was at the front. He's dropped down to P11. Aaron Lim will be in the points once again, but you can see as the camera catches onto him, Aaron down in P12 will be in the points. And for Slipstream, another whip pan from the camera finds Dan Martin in 13 and Dominic Ang down in P14 from Stratos Motorsports. Stratos not having a good time of it today. However, one team who is having a super duper time, or one person, Mohamed Ibrahim, whose lead is close to 6 seconds now, Amo Hazik.
Yeah, there's no way in heck that he could be caught now because he made the move stick and Kalen and Miko just gave him the passage, almost like Moses, you know. They just gave him the lead. After that, he was unchallenged. Had a good in-lap before his pit stop. Had an even better out-lap after his pit stop. And now has pulled up almost 6 second lead ahead. So he's not being challenged unless a back marker comes in the way and causes an accident. But so far, at least, it's looking so serene for him up here in the Ardennes.
And remember that he started in P11. Chance for your Murray Walker story.
Yeah, so talking about the Ardennes, we can safely say that Murray Walker was also in the Battle of the Bulge during World War II, where he was part of the Allied troops in a Sherman tank going through here. That's why he said in the broadcast back in '98. He said, the first time I ever saw this place was in a Sherman tank. So he was in the Battle of the Bulge and the Battle of the Reichswalds. So he was involved in that, and they managed to help the Allied powers overcome the Germans in that one. So yeah, that's a bit of an interesting anecdote from the late great Murray Walker. God bless him.
Stato Hazik strikes again. Alex Young. Miko Nassi, second fastest in qualification. Looks like he's going to get a P2 in race 2.
Yeah, so but I'm a bit mystified with Miko. He had the pacing, well, I mean, not against Mohamed Ibrahim, but he just didn't really fight Ibrahim when he came through in race 2. I thought he was going to put up a bigger fight. You saw how the BAR boys, BlackArts Racing drivers, were really fighting hard with Ibrahim. I was a bit surprised how Miko Nassi's been quite relaxed. He's not been his usual fighting self, but he's been very chilled. And I suppose that chilledness is going to give him second position.
So coming up to Eau Rouge Radio, let's see if he goes in flat. Yeah, he lets go of it. Desi mentioned qualifying just now why we were both actually silent there, because it's a bit of a bet among racing drivers. Can you take Eau Rouge flat? And you of course probably heard the story. 1999 BAR, Ricardo Zonta and Jacques Villeneuve had a bet among themselves to see if they could actually take Eau Rouge flat. Ended up wrecking both cars, much to the anger of team boss Greg Pollock.
Yeah, I think it cost him something like £450,000 or something. So yes, it is brave to take a Rouge flat. It's not necessarily the fastest way through a Rouge. I've been in cars where you get too much scrub trying to take it flat, so a small lift just as you go up is actually a little bit quicker, because you don't want to scrub the car too much through there either.
And bottoming out too, don't you think, Alex?
Bottoming up does happen, yeah. You often see the plank marks all the way up to Radion as cars scrape all the way through that bit.
Focusing on Kalen Chin just for now, because he's not had much care and attention, but it's another podium coming up for the teenager.
Yeah, looking at his results, it's just been so consistent. Okay, so this will be only his third podium this season, but a very good podium nonetheless. He's just been that silent performer, and that's why he could challenge for the top 5 championship now that Nakib actually has a bad round this time.
We are indeed in the final lap of the race, and Mohammed Ibrahim will... Oh no, 30 seconds to go. So this is now the final lap of the race as Mohammed Ibrahim. It's almost a victory lap, Alex Young, and who can catch him? Where's he got this pace from?
He's always had this pace, hasn't he? I think he was made very easy for him. He had a great first lap, went up to P4, and then the top 3 that were in front of him really didn't put up much of a fight, so made it very easy for Ibrahim to get to the front. And then after that, you know, he had the pace. I think the only guys could fight with Ibrahim today were the BlackArts boys, but they got taken out in the first lap. Bannister got spun round on turn 1 and lap 1. I'm not sure by who. Josh Pone was very cautious and got involved in another incident towards the end of lap 1, which meant he was a good 10 seconds behind the battle for the lead. And after that, it was Ibrahim all the way.
You just mentioned Josh Perwin. He's been happily, safely tootling around in P4 at the moment. 5 seconds behind Kalen Chin, so he won't get himself a podium, but to get himself a nice, healthy 13 points to add to his race 1 score.
It will, but unfortunately in the grand scheme of things, he has lost a lot of points to Ibrahim. Add to the fact that we can add insult to injury, Ibrahim got another pole position, so 25 points alone from qualifying has been gained from Ibrahim, and Josh hasn't had an answer to that. He might still be attacking the championship, but it's going to be a tall order here from here on out, trying to catch this man who has been dominating in this entire championship so far.
We've got to stay with Mohammed Ibrahim, Alex Young, because as he comes through, he takes checkered flag on back-to-back occasions. There may be a protest for race 1, no protest for race 2. This is as comprehensive a victory as you can possibly get. A little smack in the back as he goes through, but it's a win double at Spa for Mohammed Ibrahim from Team Flash.
Yeah, and we look at the rest of the field there. Biko Nasi second, third Kalen Chin, fourth Josh Bowen, fifth Alif Anton gets the better of Josh Thomas to finish in sixth. What an amazing weekend he's had despite the quali ban. He's gained so many positions. If he had a hard charger award or the overtaking award, he should be up there. He's overtaken so many cars.
But Mohammed Ibrahim is the winner, and Alex, hopefully we can have a chat with him. It's becoming a familiar conversation with you two.
Wow, Ibrahim, a great race. Take us through it, especially that first lap. What happened in that first lap? You had a mega first lap to go up from 11th to 4th?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm really happy with the race win. And it was the start. Yeah, start was just. I just tried to stay out of trouble, you know, not to do anything, not to have any mess with anybody or anything. So I took it as carefully as possible.
Was it easier than expected? I expected a bit more of a fight from the others, but you just seemed to kind of cruise by. I mean, as we were saying in our last interview, the Slipstream just kind of seemed to help with everything.
Yeah, definitely. No, the Slipstream helped me now, actually. It is a massive help. That it really helped me get past, get past everyone. So it was a big help, the Slipstream now.
One interesting thing as well that we spoke about was tire wear, and we could see in your driving style, you know, you are pushing the car a little bit harder than maybe some of the other drivers on track, and we could see the car twitching around. You were also one of the first, or you were the first driver to make a pit stop. Were you seeing a lot of tire deck towards the end of your first stint?
The tire wear was alright. I pitted quite early. Yeah, definitely quite early. I pitted. So, but the tire wear was alright. It was a bit tricky at the end, but it was all under control.
Okay, so I mean, a double win here in round 6. It's round 5. Next round we take a break, but I want to just chat to you a bit about this, Ibrahim, because the next round, actually not the next round, the round after that, we're going to go to a different car, Lotus 49, historic car. Have you been practicing with that car? Would that be a tricky car, or do you think you can still maintain your speed?
I haven't even bought that car, so I don't even have it. So. I'll start practicing soon.
Good. Keep it that way. We want to make the playing field as even as possible. Give yourself a little bit of a handicap. Give the others a chance. But great job, Ibrahim. Clean sweep is the phrase I'm looking for. Pole, race 1, race 2. Perfect evening. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really again thankful to God, thankful to Allah that the race went smoothly because, so many things could have happened, it's an absolute, like I said, it's a bit of a lottery, because it's just about surviving, so if you get away with it, you get away with it.
Well, and you did indeed get away with it. Congratulations. Over to you, Des, to walk us through the unofficial results from Race 2.
Yeah, these have got to be Ratit's 5, but Mohammed Ibrahim with the second victory for Team Flash. Miko Nassi, a very, very solid, if unspectacular P2, but that's 20 points for Miko. Kalen Chin, a solid P3 as well. Josh Perwin will pick up points, but he will lose out on the overall standings to Ibrahim. Alif again, 11 points for him. Inigo Anton, always top 6. Nakib, that's a good recovery, but of course he wants to be better. Arif Azmi, Apex Racing, spectacular in P8. Josh Thomas crashed out. A difficult weekend for the Aussie in Safehouse. And Garrido finished 10th. Good result for him. Remember, he started off on pole, finished in P10. The point scorers, Dominic Ang, Aaron Lim, Luke Bannister. That's a tough day for Luke. And Dan Martin with a first point for Freddie Ang from Apex T Racing on debut. Out of the points, Melvin Tam, Ivan Vantagiato, and Mika Hakimi. Oh, tough day at the office for Mika and Ivan, but a great day at the office for Mohammed Ibrahim.
Indeed, a clean sweep for Mohammed Ibrahim. I'm really interested to see what this is going to do to the overall championship points. We have all of that, interviews, more race analysis coming your way right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
When I switched to pro mileage, I got 47% of savings.
I paid 790 for it. Compared to any other insurer, the cheapest was 1,290. Pro mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper.
My Volvo XC40 1 year premium 6,000 over ringgit. Then I start taking from Malaysia. I say, 3,200 plus ringgit.
Claim went through pretty fast. I got my car back pretty quickly as well.
Called them about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think within 1 hour it came.
BlackArts Racing is a team that has excellent infrastructure and experience. We've seen them pairing real racing drivers like Alistair Young with pure sim racing drivers like Josh Perwin.
So BlackArts have 2 sim drivers this time.
Hi, I'm Josh Perwin. I'm back once again racing for BlackArts Racing.
Hi, I'm Luke, and I'll be driving for BlackArts Racing.
I think having that sim racing background really will help the team.
Well, me and Luke have kind of had a similar experience in sim racing. We've kind of had the same sim racing trajectory.
I started sim racing when I was about 17, I think, on F1 2017. Seeing on YouTube other people playing, so I bought a wheel and started sim racing. The only real titles I have in sim racing were on the F1 games, a championship on 2017 and then 2 runners-up on 2018. The best probably achievement I have was coming P7 in the Eracing Watkins Glen 6-hour race.
They've been very lucky to have an all-Aussie lineup.
And they started the year very strong.
We've seen Luke Bannister and Josh Perwin come first and second in the first round of Season 2.
Josh is actually really in good form this season.
To finish on the podium so many times.
And Josh Perwin finally taking his first win at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Last season was on Ratium, which is one of my weakest games, so we didn't really get the results that we would normally get in sim racing. But for this season, one of my more stronger games, I managed to get my highest ever points. Did a controlled comeback in race 2 from 11th place and ended up taking the win as well, so I was quite happy with that.
Josh needs to sort out his qualifying, and he needs to try and get a pole position.
Luke has got a lot of pace.
He started the year very strong.
So far, E1 Season 2 has gone pretty well for me and Josh at BlackArts Racing, with both races finishing fairly high up.
But he's been quite unlucky this season.
2 bad races that he has had costed him points.
I had a bit of an incident and didn't finish quite as high as I wanted to.
He got taken out by someone at Indianapolis. At Charlotte, Luke ended up getting taken out.
I think I could definitely be a bit further up if things had gone a little bit better my way.
Don't forget, they're going for the team's championship, and they need both drivers to be strong, so Luke has to find that consistency.
So in terms of my expectations for Luke, he's been doing quite well so far this season, and if he can produce similar results as to what he's done in Interlagos and Montreal, and I think we'll be able to secure, at minimum, a top 2 in the Constructors' Championship.
We know that they have that momentum behind them going into the second half of the season.
And we've seen this before in the past. When someone wins their first race, they can go on to win a lot of other races. And I think that's about to happen with Josh Perwin.
Josh, don't change. You're a genuine contender the way you are.
So our goal is to win both championships.
Even though we slipped down to second in the team's championship, we're not too far behind.
Second place is first loser.
At the end of the day, there's a very, very strong challenge coming from the boys in orange. Don't discredit either of the Aussies. They've done very, very well. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Second place is the first loser. I love that. I'm going to use that, Josh. I hope you don't mind. Welcome back to the E1 Championship. It is Season 2. We've just wrapped up Round 5. We've had qualifying Race 1 and Race 2 at Spa-Francorchamps, and all of this action is brought to you by our lovely sponsors, Evo Club Car Insurance, where you can save up to 40% off of your next car insurance renewal. Make sure you check out their website. It's there on the screen, evoclubinsurance.com. Now, we just had a great piece there on BlackArts Racing. We've seen a lot of the Australian duo in Race 1 and Race 2. Amo, I'm going to throw this question to you. We know they have a strong driver lineup. I mean, what would be your assessment of their strengths and weaknesses? And one of the strengths, just to get you going, is we know that they can work together, and we saw that in Race 1.
Yeah, definitely. That's also the strength, that they work together. Plus, they are also iRacing specialists, so they know the game like the back of their hands. Inside out, they know what to do with the car, they know how to drive it. But probably the main weakness right now, and we saw that in the team's championship standings, is they are not close to Flash as they are supposed to be because of what's happening to Luke's form. Yes, he can be very good. We saw that he won in Interlagos in the second race. Yeah, he won the second race in round 1. But then it has been a bit of a seesaw for him. It's not attributed to him mostly. It's mostly because he's been in a bit of the wars. You know, like a bit of bad luck. He gets in collisions sometimes. That has been hurting their form. So if Luke can actually get that kind of bad luck out of the way, he could definitely be helping out the team for the Constructors' Championship. Or sorry, Team's Championship.
Seesaw indeed is the correct term. And looking at the leading of the two drivers, Josh Perwin, a little bit less of a gap, more of a gap to P1, who is of course Mohammed Ibrahim. Des, do you think in the second half of this championship the title fight is going to continue being between these two drivers?
Well, these are Alex Young rules, don't forget. So there's the mystery circuit, and anything could happen next week. Really could. Plus, you've got double points available on the last race of the season. Plus, the drivers have got to drop around as well. So there's an awful lot of mitigating factors still to come in. So Ibrahim may be running away with it, but you saw the attitude there of Josh Perwin. You know what? He's so beautifully miserable all the time. It's fabulous. Don't change, Josh, because you're still in this title race. Stay miserable. I'll hate to know you when you're a grumpy old man.
Well, let's go and speak to Josh himself and get some insight on how his race has gone this evening. We can get him up on screen. Josh Perwin, there you are. P2 in race 1, P4 in race 2. Walk us through your race 2.
Alright, so at the start, I got taken out by Mohammed Ibrahim. I don't know whether it was intentional or not, but it was very suspicious because he just went basically straight at turn 1. He went for a super audacious dive bomb. I gave him the space and yeah, completely took me out. So, and I don't know if Team Flash want to play dirty or not, but that's what it seems from our point of view, unfortunately. And then after that, it was just a recovery race. But yeah, I think we would have won that race if Mohammed Ibrahim hadn't taken me out.
I think we did see that in the highlights. We did see Mohammed Ibrahim into turn 1, maybe pulling a bit of a late move and locking up a little bit. I'm sure the stewards may be taking a look at it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be protesting that because it's not on, and we're really disappointed because, especially in race 1 as well, he's moving under braking, cost Luke the win as well. It meant Luke didn't have a chance of getting the win. So it's, yeah, not a clean round, I think, from Team Flash, but is what it is.
Well, a difficult start, but a healthy points haul regardless, P2 and P4. It still poises you well as we go into the second half of the championship. We have a bit of a break next week, and the following week we have a bit of a wild card thrown your way. We're in the classic era of cars that you'll be driving. How's the practice going for that?
I've actually driven the car before for the Monza round. That's going to be quite interesting just because I think we've been focusing on getting the IR01 set up right. And then we'll focus because it's going to be a fixed setup race, so we won't need to do as much setup work with it. But it's going to be a really exciting round at Monza combined because that track is crazy. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that race pans out. And probably a good chance as well for me to get some good points.
All right, Alex, any other points?
No. Okay, thanks very much. Very
All right,
angry
thank you.
and old man. Josh
See you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
See you then.
All right, I think we've got time to speak to our young gun on the grid of the E1 Championship. Let's go ahead and speak to Kalen Chin. Kalen, good to see you up there again. P3. You don't look as happy as you did with the P2 last week, but I'm sure you're still quite happy with a podium finish nonetheless.
Yeah, podium's a pretty good result in my opinion. Judging by how quick we were compared to the others, we weren't really in the top 5. So I think P3, or even a podium just in general, is a pretty good result. And it's good for the championship as I think I gain points on those nearby. So yeah, I am happy with this.
Oh, well done on that. I mean, good result there. Did you think you took the pit stop a bit too late though? Because you were in front of Mikko Nase. Really had a good fight at that point. But you pitted, was it a lap or 2 laps after him?
Yeah, I looking back at it right now, I think, yeah, I should have probably pit when he pit, but, I mean, I'll learn from this, but yeah, it was a pretty fun battle with him.
Yeah.
Hitting a lap later was probably a mistake, but yeah, I will definitely learn from this, and hopefully I won't make the mistake again.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great battle. We were talking about it in the race, and we were wondering, were you and Mikko working together to try and pull a gap to everyone else, or were you just fighting hard?
I mean, I don't know what it was like on Mikko's perspective, if he was trying to work with me or if he was trying to battle, but I was just trying to work with him to not lose time to Ibrahim and also not lose time to Josh and Elise behind. So working with him was probably the best outcome. As I said, we didn't really lose much time. So yeah.
One last question before you go, and I really want to hype this up because I'm super excited for this race. But next race, we're using classic cars, a classic Lotus, less downforce, more akin to driving a go-kart. And that's, of course, where I've seen you race in real life. Do you think that your experience in driving karts and skating all around the place is going to give you an advantage on track in 2 weeks' time?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I mean, it is a different atmosphere of a track, I would say, comparing from an oval to a karting track. But as you said, if it's like how a kart is, I think my experience with karting, it will definitely help a lot to how like the car handles and all that. So I haven't tested the car yet, so I don't really know how it handles, but I'll see how it goes. Hopefully, how you described it, maybe my karting experience will help, and yeah.
Well, we know for sure that some other drivers haven't had any practice yet, so you're not at a disadvantage yet, but keep making podiums a regular occurrence, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
All right, we've got time for one more quick interview. Let's go speak to the second of the fast Filipinos, Joaquin Garrido of GT Radial Eurasia Motorsport. Joaquin, you've had 2 11 places tonight, and you also started on pole position with the reverse grid in race 2. Walk us through that race. Walk us what it was like starting from pole position.
Well, starting from pole was a tough challenge for us since I'm not really used to starting up there. Our plan was just to stay in front as long as possible and hope that my teammate would start catching up and gain ground on us really quickly.
Okay. How was the car though? I mean, it looked like your first few laps you were up there, no problem. But once you lost one position, you went back quite quickly, didn't you?
About the car, well, we weren't able to do much of setup work, so we just drove baseline setup and then hope for the best.
Okay. All right. Well, best of luck in 2 weeks' time. There's a lot of practice, I'm sure, that's needed for setups on this new car, on a new track, and we'll see you then.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We have race 2 highlights coming your way. Let's get straight to it.
So here we go, rolling start for race 2, and Joaquin Garrido got the jump on everyone, had a good start. There's that clash between championship rivals, Ibrahim on Josh Perwin, which Josh said cost him the race win. This is further down in that first lap with Carnage still halfway through the lap, and then there's another one. I think it was Dominic Ung, through no fault of his own, I feel. But then Ibrahim, great pace, made his way through the field, got past Garrido, although Garrido did not make it easy for him. Really good battle between there. But then after that, Ibrahim had clear running and was soon hunting down the two in front, which was Kalen Chin and Mikko Nasi. Here he is, finally got past Mikko Nasi first, and then got past Kalen Chin rather easy. I was kind of surprised how both drivers didn't fight him harder. And then Ibrahim running away at the front was the first to pit and was able to hold on quite comfortably to win by 6 seconds from Mikko Nasi. Kalen Chin in P3, Josh Perwin recovering to P4.
These results coming to you courtesy of EvoClubInsurance.com. They are our sponsors. Mohammed Ibrahim looks like he's picked up 27 points there, but there will be protests for both racers. Mikko Nasi, a solid 20 points for him, ahead of Kalen Chin, another podium. That's 3 so far this season. Josh Perwin just outside of a podium, a solid 4th. Muhammad Ali picks up double points once again. Car number 44. Quietly doing his business. Inigo Anton, that's a good recovery to P6. Nakib Aslan down amongst the ordinary men. He's not used to that. Arif Azmi, always fun with Apex Eracing. Josh Thomas down in P9, taken out very, very early. And Joaquin Garrido finishing 10th, actually. I got that wrong. I told Dom that it was 11th, top 10 for Joaquin Garrido and GT Radial Eurasia. So, the overall points, subject to confirmation, it's another super duper 57 out of 59 for Mohammed Ibrahim. Mikko Nasi picking up 37, Josh Perwin 36, and Kalen Chin 26. But gosh, that's a 21-point differential between Ibrahim and Josh Perwin in the overall championship standings. Luke Bannister struggled, but 23 points for him, and double digits for Alif, Inigo, Nakib Aslan, Aaron Lim, congratulations from Team EGG, and Dominic Ang.
Well, this is turning out to be an extremely interesting start to the second half of the season. I was loving the pointed words by Josh Perwin on the interview just now. I feel like we're kind of watching a Schumacher Hakkinen moment where the drivers are commenting on each other's driving styles. I'm sure the protests will prove to be interesting as well after the race. But next week, we have a break, so it's not regularly scheduled programming. There will be a break. We'll be back in 2 weeks at a very interesting track with a slightly different car. And to walk us through that, it's over to our colleague, Amanda.
Next week, we will be going for a short break. But after that, the second and final mystery circuit of E1 Season 2 will be revealed. Now, similar to round 4, drivers and teams will only be getting information on the mystery track 3 days before race day. As we inch closer towards the end of the season, it's crucial for teams and drivers to be able to adapt quickly to the upcoming circuit. Will fast, aggressive driving pay off, or will calm, meticulous driving reign supreme? Only one way to find out. See you on the 13th of October for round 6.
All right, well, thank you, Amanda. 2-week break. When we come back, mystery circuit. It proved pretty interesting last time around.
Yep, it's nice throwing up surprises last minute. And it's not just a mystery circuit for the next round, it's going to be a joker round as well. So we can play around with the format and make it a little bit interesting. We got a great end of the year, 3 great rounds still to come after this break. So it'll be lots of fun.
So we're back on the 13th October. Save the date in your calendars. Is there anything else you can give away about the mystery round?
No, nothing at all. I don't even know. We don't even know at this point.
How does the Joker format work?
Okay, so when we did the Joker format in round 4, we decided to keep the format the same because we had so many changes. The mystery track, I think, threw everyone. So we wanted to keep it nice and easy. But when we say Joker format, it means we can change around with the format. And I think in Season 1, we played around with some reverse grids and stuff, which is kind of fun. I don't know what we're going to do now. Maybe we'll do a 2-hour race or something. Well, we'll see.
Well, knowing Alex, there's probably going to be an oval in it somewhere, I'm sure. Well, you guys will just have to find out 2 weeks' time. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and all of our other social pages as well to stay up to date with the latest information. But for now, it's over to Des to walk us through the latest championship standings.
And here they are, the championship standings, 209 points, Mohammed Ibrahim. There will be protests, that might change. Josh Perwin, 172, losers ground. Muhammad Ali quietly up into P3 on 138. Kalen Chin, 116. Naki Baslan into the top 5, 114. And Josh Thomas, 108. Remember the Aussie leaderboard at the start of the season? It's changed a bit. Miko Nasi, 7th. Bannister, 8th. All in triple digits. All very impressive. Inigo Anton. Is that elusive win ever going to come? And Dominic Ang completing the top 10 of the championship standings. Team standings. Team Flash, 347 points. It's a massive lead over BlackArts Racing. Bannister and Josh Perwin, though, will keep on pushing till the end of the season. Safehouse have got a little bit closer with that second place from Miko Nasi today, though Josh Thomas had a tough time of it. Stratos picking up points all the time. Nakib and Dominic Ang, they may be struggling, but look at them, they're still top 4 ahead of BlackWolf Racing. Mika had a difficult weekend once again. GT Radial Eurasia out of the Philippines with Inigo and Joaquim Garrido all picking up points, 131 points. If you're scoring over 130 points this far into the season, you're doing pretty well. Apex, Team EGG, Slipstream and Eracing Icons completing the top 10.
Well, that's 5 rounds down out of 8. We have 3 to go. The championship is still wide open because anything can happen. In 2 weeks' time, October 13th, save the date, we have a Joker format, we have a mystery circuit, which means that there's loads of curveballs being thrown the teams and the drivers' way. So it's going to be super exciting, and we'll see you there. My special thanks to everybody in the studio. Alex with me over here, Des and Ammo in the commentary box. Everybody else in the studio. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much, and good night.